Alright, here we go. Alright, how did this happen? First, we boarded the warp train to get to our next destination, P-Corp. Got into our fancy first class flash freeze hibernation capsules, and we were supposed to arrive at P-Corp after a quick blink of an eye, but... Dante, please respond, there's... The first thing I saw when my vision returned was a perplexed look on Faust, who had entered hibernation at the same time as I did. Then I realized that we woke up mid-transit on the warp train, which could only mean we're now stranded in some lost unknown dimension. Dante, I understand your considerable degree of disorientation, but... What? What the hell happened? First things first. Let's You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Well, we're gonna have to go back to the beginning. Our next destination is to our warp train, Dante. There I was, still perplexed by the incidents at T-Corp. I must have misheard thee, Don Quixote. We are now en route to the T-Corp warp train station. Holy shit, I'm your favorite guy, Heathcliff? I can't believe the British man says I'm his favorite. How does that work? Is this like an ID thing? Does distortion pop up at one of those warp platforms or something? Less disinclined to take on some side jobs, but no. We are boarding the warp train to get to P-Corp, end of story. Do you have like a tier list of which sinner you want to go through, or are you just going through all of them? It was only natural that the sinners immediately fell into a state of collective dumbfounded shock. None of the sinners have any history of working at W Corp, but we're actually taking that train. It's fucking crazy. I initially considered hiding this information from the rest of the sinners, but since sharing things with everyone and letting them get their 2 cents and usually ended up being pretty helpful more often than not, I've been sharing more of these as of late. Though I have very dim, if present at all, recollections from the time during which I wear the identities. That the conversational records between the mannerisms, the identities. Warp train operations can be deemed as somewhat bizarre and inefficient. Honestly, warp trains seem pretty efficient to me. It's that 10-second trip that actually takes a long time. Sounds like I might finally have a chance to see a masterpiece with my own eyes. I remember when Faust explained that due to the risks associated with embracing such influences, there's a filtering process to intentionally block them from reaching the sinners. I missed something. That's why the sinners could use the identities of some of our worst enemies without getting infected by their philosophies and whatnot. But it also meant they couldn't retain any new information that each identity had to offer. My voice doesn't really carry well past the window, so most of our communications are one-sided, but it wasn't difficult to piece together the truth behind the trains, but your alarmed response and possible incompliance have already been accounted for. Then thou hast known this all along? Faust has indeed known this all along, as no knowledge is out of Faust's reach. As expected, a solution to your dilemma has already been prepared. I seriously doubt your solution involves not getting on the train, so what is it? The bus. Oh, what about the bus? Karen vetoes too. No one to feed Mephi when Karen's gone. The rearmost tail cars of warp trains are all freight cars. That is where Mephistopheles will be safely fastened and transported. And the LCB will have the benefit of boarding as first-class passengers. I wonder how much that costed. Even on normal trains, you've got those sods whose proudest accomplishment in life is planting their arses in first-class seats. Hey, don't look at me, I've never been in one of those first-class seats before either. As expensive as 3-4 months salary of a first-year wing employee? Jesus. The company's budget is not a subject that warrants your concern. I heard first-class passengers get some cool bonus stuff like personalized private capsules or something, don't they? That is the promotional language, yes. They are flash freeze hibernation capsules, to be precise. They have been designed to easily withstand the true amount of time it takes for the warp train to travel from point A to point B. The company's regard for our well-being is unfamiliar yet welcome. Right? I honestly thought they were going to slip out just the guide and Karen into the first class seats. This seems like an unnecessary luxury. They should have saved their budget and given only the executive manager and their loyal advisor access to those seats. We're taking the train to get our next mission, right? You know it's first class and all, but warp trains are just plain creepy. Economy passengers is going to have a hard time getting into a first class car. We won't even have to lift a finger, we just have to board the train, get into our capsules, shut our eyes, and snooze through the entire ride. Commemorative W Corp merch sounds pretty cool. A true adventure is not without its hardships, yet even the most exalted of heroes cannot venture without respite. A hero may even deign to select a first-class seat to rest in place of a quaint inn, indeed, indeed. I get the sense that there was a growing consensus among the sinners that even a warp train trip might be acceptable if it meant they could ride in the first-class seats. I will board the train if I must. Is first-class seating mandatory? I prefer the scenic route. And I assume that we are all in agreement. Let's go. I have a matter of great import to discuss with thee. Out with the last. In the first-class seats, I have heard that we must board with our feet freed from our boots. Oh shit, Rocinante? I don't know if that's how you say it. "'Tis no gossip, forsooth, I have overheard aught from those we have walked past ere today." When one of them inquired, "You know that you gotta go barefoot in first class, right?" The other responded with, "Of course, man, what am I, stupid? Doth the traveler speak true, Ishmael?" Don't ask me. I don't remember seeing anything like that on the pamphlet. I mustn't be separated from Rocinante, not even for a twinkle. I shan't toss Rocinante to the side next to such vulgarities like the ugly shoes of Sir Heathcliff. Oh, you little... I implore thee, O illustrious red gaze, prithee grant me thy permission and allow me to board with Rocinante. Fine, keep your shoes on. Oh boy, more reading. This place is huge. This is a nice looking train station. That was my first impression of the warp train station. Oh, so this is... Immediately recovered from her previous apprehension. So each nest has one of these... Holy shit. I guess it makes sense that each nest would have a W Corp station. They're like the main method of travel instead of airplanes. Oh, you know anything about what they're asking? Heathcliff asked, gesturing towards Merceau. Every warp train station has been built with a general design philosophy that draws from their respective nests' architectural idiosyncrasies. It can also be said that many critics in relevant fields praise the warp train stations as one of the many cultural cornerstones of the city. I have no idea when it happened, but Heathcliff started treating Merceau like a walking encyclopedia from time to time. Merceau, young Merceau. Lo, is that passenger over yonder one from the west? Incorrect. Leather-based clothing and metal armor are predominant fashion trends, often visible in the outfits of the Western population. While that individual's cloth-based style is something ubiquitously observed throughout the population of North and South, they are largely considered to be an Eastern fashion trend, rarely seen among Western. Prithee slow thyself, for I must take a record of thy lectures. What wisdom dost thou have to impart regarding the fashion of the northern region? I once espied in a magazine that they are all garbled in loose-fitting outfits, understandably so, given the colder climate of the region. An opportunity for a first-hand observation stands before you. Oh, that's a cool fucking helmet. Whoa! Ah! 3 seconds of his screaming duet. What the shit? You nearly blew out my eardrums. Oh, is that the new IDs? That's what they're based on? Dude, I've got an audible frequency range expansion implant in my eardrums? Holy shit, man. Now get the hell out of my way. You're blocking the walkway like a ragtag band of hicks who have never even seen a warp train before. Damn it, I take the train all the way here for an expedition only to lose my target. Now these assholes are trying to blow out my eardrums. Great, just great. I love this. Is it that obvious we've never been on a warp train before? And the ticket fee came straight out of my damn pocket. Watch out, big fella. Someone might get seriously hurt if you keep swinging those 4 arms around, each holding a weapon to boot. Prithee, wilt thou stand still for but a moment to satisfy a few inquiries of mine regarding thy outfit? Oh, yes, yes, stand in absolute stillness for 5 minutes. Seriously? Spent a few minutes venting several of his numerous grievances at us before storming off. Ah, indeed, 'tis grand, the city of sundry odd personalities. I guess the city really is full of people with body prosthetics. Well, then, we'll rendezvous at the destination. Will to the illustrious Red Gaze not ride alongside us? He got, like, super first class? Oh yeah, I forgot the color. W Corp policy demands those that with the title of a color must board a train specifically prepared for them instead. But like, surely you have a preference of like which character you like the most, right? Do you have like a ranking of which sinners you like the most? That's a color for you, I guess. Special treatment from the wings, no matter he goes. Slight typo. Karen wants to go back to Mephi. Mephi will be lonely. I already told you why you can't, Karen. On 3 separate occasions in which I bought you those multi-flavored candies, humans are not allowed aboard the freight cars. Then Miss Faust. Well, how come you switched from Sinclair? You just like wanted to switch it up? Escorted the particularly peeved Karen away. Let us proceed. Damn. Whoa, hey. Our colors are starting to come back. I can't believe your family got fucking murdered by a... I don't even know what Brummer is, like an Inquisitor, I guess? These must be the fabled complimentary food and drink of the first-class seats. Flash freeze hibernation. Are they safe? Please elaborate on your exact definition of safe. Oh, what the fuck, that's crazy. Technically, Cromer isn't really police, but that's fucked up that that happened to your family. Put you in temporary state of death, caused by rapid cellular cryopreservation process. However, the rapidity of the process prevents damage to your cell walls. Normal cases, oh boy. Fully resolved cell wall breaching issues caused by cryogenic density change or by ice crystal growths of hydrogen molecules. Yeah, I mean, the best is all you can do. I missed about half of what you said, but your point is that it's safe, right? Yes, as far as Faust is aware. Even if an issue were to arise, because everyone will be reverted to their states at the beginning of the trip, there won't be any lasting complications from said problem. Got some real talent in dragging out something so simple as, yeah, it's safe. Indeed, as Faust's talents are not limited to a singular field, based Faust. Are you already bored of Heathcliff? How long have you been Heathcliff for? As far as Faust is aware. As a general rule, Faust does not err. However, Faust is also not a divine being. There is certain information in the world that Faust is yet to have access to. Okay. They don't call first class for nothing. P-Corp's way up there in the northernmost corner of the city. Blink of an eye. Rocinante! I've been meaning to ask Don Quixote. Do you ever know? Wash those shoes? No, I mean like, think back to when we were inside that whale. Oh my god. Have you done Honglu yet? When that whale blew up, we got all kinds of its gross slimy bits on us. Yeah. Clean our bloodied, fishy, fleshy, gunked clothing. This really isn't something I want to revisit, but yeah. Right? And do you also remember how Don Quixote never took her shoes off once during that whole ordeal? I mean, it's your poll. You can do what you want. I ask thee, compatriots, hast thou ever witnessed an errant knight who leaves the side of their beloved steed? Can't say I've ever witnessed a knight before, though. Then thou shalt know. Starting now, behold it, hearken to it, and remember it well, and never quiet down. Have you been on one of these, Otis? I have been treated to premium VIP seats of a similar grandiosity back when. This is nothing to fuss over. I mean, now that I know about it, I guess I can, yeah. It's just on the community tab of your channel. Otis, who was sitting there and shaking her leg, suddenly asked Faust a question. Hey, you're confident that no accidents ever occurred on one of these first-class cars, yes? In order to prevent cases of unnecessary anxiety and misgivings among the sinners, the history of accidents that has occurred aboard warp trains will not be shared. Oh, shit. Wait, what the? Beep. Oh, I think we're leaving soon. This is for warp train PW612, bound for P Corp. Boarding period is ending soon. It's just like the airport. Linton Gregor seems pretty cool, but like, I have to save all my pulls, and then I'm saving all my boxes for Phil Clare, and then all the Walpurgis egos, and then I don't know how much I'll have left over, but I was thinking about sharding Ring Sang, but then Butterfly Yi Sang got announced, and it's like, I mean, I don't have a good, I don't have a 3-star for Yi Sang yet, and I don't have a good 3-star, what do you call it, Ryoshu yet. I mean, I have Kurokumo, I don't know. I have KK, but I'm not sure how good that is. Either leisurely enjoying their complimentary snacks or taking a look around the first-class car suddenly became a lot busier. Hurry and enter. Why is this the... Oh boy. Is his head not fitting through the fucking thing? Is it anxiety, Dante? I think so. Initiating warp in 10 minutes. I mean, 10 minutes is plenty of time to get in a fucking capsule. Stand as though you are leaning back, and Faust expertly guided me into the capsule. Do not worry too much. What's the worst that could happen? I thought I heard a brief sigh. Initiating warp. Please confirm that your seatbelts are firmly fastened. Was Faust climbing into her own capsule opposite of mine? I had no idea then what she really meant via, we will meet again in but a moment. Oh fuck. You must wake up. An inconceivable situation has occurred. Oh no, the fucking hell train. Something bad happened on the hell train. Who could have saw this coming? I really like Warp Train, or fucking Warp Sang. W Corp Sang, there we go. His fucking, like, not uptight art. Him just, like, tired on the train. That's fucking peak. We're here already? Wow, I guess that wasn't an exaggeration at all. I don't know if this is here, Dante. No, we are not yet at our destination. And after I had some time to digest that odd reply, I looked up at her face and realized that her expression was more angsty than usual, by a microscopically minuscule degree. Yeah, you can send it in chat, I'll add you. So this train is still running? Yes. Then, where are we? I believe we are currently stranded in an unidentified dimension, coordinates unknown. I took a reflexive, deep breath from the sheer horror of the numerous implications stuffed into that dryly delivered sentence. When that passed, the first thing that struck my mind was that we were about to suffer the very thing we were so worried about. I see. But I soon found myself calming down. Yeah, this had to be part of Faust's plan. She probably saw this coming from a mile away. I'm sure she's about to proudly tell me every little detail of her plan. But this is all part of the plan, right? There's a usually long silence. Half correct, yet half incorrect. Ideal for a story boss? Like, for a Kanto? With that, Faust left me to flounder in the chaotic stream of vaguely terrifying information. Oh, we're here already? Man, it's already happened in the blink of an... No. Oh, what's this? We're here already? For real? It's already happened in the... This is a fucking good bit. Whoa, we're here already? I guess it was really worrying over... No. Oh, no. Yet I have not uttered a single word. Yi sang. There was a brief cheer, a little hurrah about regaining our colors, followed by a flat-toned explanation of our current predicament. Long, loaded silence. I had the pleasure of watching play out on about 10 consecutive occasions. I understand your confusion, however, perhaps an elaboration of our present circumstances necessary. And that brings us to the present. Let me get this right. The train's still running. We're drifting through some unknown dimension. Aught about that striketh me as quite dramatic. Most importantly, are you saying that you already knew this would happen, Faust? Yes. What the hell is wrong with you? Surely it's Rocinante's fault. It's the shoes. This is why you take off your fucking shoes. What are you, insane? It's not like we can just retreat or jump out that door. Opening the door will result in nearly immediate destruction of the physical body. What the fuck? Hey, Foul, at least you know what to do like you always do. Yeah, sure, I'm interested in the boss idea. Faust, whom I had never seen at a loss for words, was having oddly long instances of silence. What's up with her? Lass looks totally out of it today. She gives me a sideways glance. There must be something she can't discuss in the front of the sinners. Let's pause for a bit. She said that something inconceivable has happened. The other sinner's anger was completely understandable. Alright, we're going to go over the situation from the start, okay? Just letting things play out might really turn everyone against Faust. I doubt Faust had any ill intent in waking us up in the middle of the trip. First things first, I gotta get the sinners to calm down, then I'll tell Faust to tell us what happened. If there's a problem, we'll figure it out and deal with it as we move along. Tell us what's going on, Faust. Let's hear her out first. If you say so. Fine, I suppose losing my rag rarely ever did anything. Thank you, then. After some time, the gist of Faust's explanation was as follows. The cause of this issue, as always, involved a certain contract and a unilateral decision from the higher-ups of Limbus Company. W Corp caught wind of Limbus Company's recent distortion contract management promotions and decided to contract us to deal with a mysterious repeated series of incidents suspected to have been caused by a distortion, after multiple failed attempts to resolve it on their own, of course. The distortions themselves likely did not pose a problem for W Corp based on the available information. It can be determined that they would have all been neutralized as soon as the train arrived, and any transformed passengers would have been reverted to their human forms. But the real issue is that the passengers were disappearing. Spirited away? Alas, such an impossibility aboard these trains, is it not? That is the question for which we must discover the precise cause and effect of. Did W Corp share anything to get us started? That appears to be the most prominent cause of this misunderstanding. Refused to share anything about the trains because they were concerned about maintaining the secrets of their singularity. That is fucked. Maybe that's exactly why they sought out an upstart business like Limbus Company. We wouldn't even know where to start if we didn't have access to the information that the ID cards had to offer. Faust produced what appeared to be a keycard with a W Corp logo. We were given this master keycard that can open and close the hibernation capsules at will. We may return to our respective capsules as soon as the contract is fulfilled and safely complete the rest of the journey as we had planned from the beginning. I guess it wasn't Don Quixote's shoes that fucked everything up. Absolutely. Is that Barney? Yeah. I think it's a bit unkind of them to ask us to finish the puzzle without all the important pieces. At least at T-Corp, there's CED tagged along as our assistant, not to mention kindly explaining so many new things to us. It sounds like Miss Faust was stuck between a rock and a hard place herself. Some sinners grew more receptive. Would have appreciated it if you at least gave us a hint. I understand where you're coming from, but it's not like there's someone out there monitoring your every move and every word, right? That is... ooh, there is. Next time I will take your inputs into account. And that's everything I can do for her. It's an undeniable truth that Faust has disappointed the sinners with what she's done. She is Faust, after all. I'm sure she has backup plans to get us out of this situation. What's our next on our agenda? What's done is done, right? Besides, it's not like we gotta rot away for thousands of years inside this metal box. This is something I must first discuss with Dante. What are we discussing? I recommend that you lower your voice from this point onward, Dante. You just, like, ticks quieter? Why are we whispering? My connection to Giselle Shaft? I mean, Faust has been severed? I cannot access Faust's knowledge at the moment. Oh shit. Faust network real. Alright, let's see this, oh shit, you got the Yi Sang part. How do I do this? Oh, I can just view it here. I can't view your company anymore. Imagine a boss who, in the last phase, gains 20 protection but gains 5 bleed potency along with a 99 count, all on purpose. Along with all while an emotional song plays in the background about the boss letting waves of guilt wash over them and drown them, buried in the suffering of their own issues. That's kind of like, there's this boss in Arknights, I don't know if you played Arknights. There's like this music event with this guy that plays a fucking cello or bass or something, and the guy just like, every other attack, not every other attack, but like every once in a while he does an attack that just does a shit ton of damage to himself. So I could, well actually, I mean, I have no fucking clue of what Project Moon is planning, but I could see something like that, honestly. Like a boss that damages itself. But like, you have a hard time damaging it, that's an interesting one. Or I guess, in the case of Bleed, you just have to clash with it a lot. Oh shit, combat? Oh fuck. Why is... oh, because of Dimension Shredder. What is the event bonus? Oh, the new IDs. You got fucking... oh, what is this? Wait, is this magnifying glass thing new? You got She Heathcliff. Mint Coffee Yi Sang. One 713. I'm surprised you don't have more Sinclair here. You have a lot of Yi Sang going on. Do you have... I kind of wish I had BL Yi Sang. Yeah, Yi Sang's pretty cool. I have like no fucking good Yi Sang ideas. I mean, like, Pequod's pretty good, but like, I'm just holding on until I get a fucking 3-star Yiseng. Heathcliff and Faust. Oh shit. I guess no one on my friends list has the new stuff yet. Who else has a W Corp ID that I'm forgetting about? Do I get a bonus for this? Hell yeah, I do. W Corp Gaming. I don't have to use them on the team to get the bonus, I think.
말뚝을
좋아, 몸 좀 풀어보자.
자, 풀 뜯을 시간이다. 싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
What Kanto are you on? Cause I'm a big fan of W Corp Yiseng. Like I have no idea, like in terms of meta or like actual being good at the game, like I have no clue, but I think W Yiseng is a pretty fucking solid idea. Is Kanto 4 Yiseng's? Kanto? I don't remember. Because Kanto 5 is Ishmael's, right? Readily available is completely severed. What if everything about the situation is something you don't have access to yet? One cannot completely dismiss that possibility. Full of confidence, but I don't think she's ever said a sentence that was this full of speculation and doubt. Then Faust, you are. Yes, at this moment I am limited to operating only within my knowledge. Holy shit, that's a lot. I cannot discern the cause of this disconnection. Oh shit. More than enough precautions have likely been taken in case of interdimensional travel, but perhaps Faust did not take into account an occasion in which we may have to access an unidentified dimension. Even if it was not taken into account, this particular dimension may not have yet been subject to cross-observation. Then I know, never mind. There was nothing that suggested that my connection to Faust would be lost, not even as we boarded the train, to be honest. This is a rather disagreeable situation for me. Alright, that changes everything. I recalled the last thing I saw before the hatch on the capsule closed when Faust told me not to worry too much. This is just a minor setback. I began to mutter like I was trying to convince myself. As the manager, my job is to calm everyone down and set their sights on the future, just as Faust did for me immediately before the hatch closed. You're right about why you were disconnected, then that problem will solve itself once we're off the train. And if we ever do run out of options, I'll just turn the clock and see what happens. Don't stress yourself too much, and we still have a lot of work with your knowledge, my clock, the sinners, and I could feel my confidence taking a hit with every word that came out of my metaphorical mouth. She nodded. And to the sinners, the fact that we are currently confined to a warp train in operation must be a source of enough stress. I believe sharing Faust's current state with them would add an unnecessary source of tension. What's so, reckon this door ain't gonna do anything? We're all going to bite it once it opens? How many times do I have to tell you that you're not even strong enough to break this door down? A billion years in this box. Ha ha ha. Yeah, good idea. So what now? Do we have to take a searching sweep around each car or something? In the grand scheme of things, yes. Faust cleared the air with a cough before continuing. By A-Corp's standard timescale, approximately 3 days have passed since our departure. Damn. As per the contract between Limbus Company and W Corp, I acquired the master key card placed inside my capsule and adjust the hatch settings to open automatically in 3 days. 3 days. I feel like I just blinked, and I guess that's hibernation for you. As you were all informed prior to boarding, there is no way for the economy class passengers to enter the first class car. Cross-referencing my own deductions and W Court's rather fragmentary explanations, I can assume that the situation is currently under progress in the economy class cars. The part where they thrash the shite out of one another and tearing their limbs off and all that mess? No, I doubt that. I don't think it gets that bad in 3 days. Besides, that's supposed to be business as usual for W Corp, right? Precisely. It is my opinion. Hold that thought for but a moment. Raised her index finger to her lips and signaled to be quiet. Dost thou hear aught as I do? Scratching, nay, rapping, rap tap tap, the man in the wall. Forsooth, past this gate must be, As Don Quixote kept listening with her ear to the door, an odd expression of half curiosity and half horror appeared on her face. It is possible that there must be, Lady Faust? After that very distressful noise, everyone simultaneously turned their heads to look at Faust, who closed her eyes briefly and thought. Rap tap tap, the man in the wall. Please step aside for a moment, Don Quixote. It would be best if I observed it with my own eyes. With that, she produced the master key card from the pocket and approached the panel installed next to the door. Whoa, hang on a minute. You're gonna open the door? I intend to follow your usual flavor of suggestion, Heathcliff. That there are times in which physical altercation is preferable to detached ruminations. Huh, my suggestion? Well, I ain't going to disagree with you there, but what's gotten into you, lass? How could I deduce anything without seeing it myself? I just missed the bleep. Oh shit. Hideous creatures suddenly crashed through the door.
자, 출발해볼까요?
어우, 여기는 답답한데. 나도 나가서 싸우면 안 되나?
계약대로 하자고요, 누님.
Is Jade a new Warframe? To be honest, I haven't played the fucking game in a minute. Like, when I say a minute, I mean a fucking while. I didn't even... Are these guys weak to blunt? Oh, they are. They're like neutral to everything else, so it's fine, I guess. This is just a... It's been a while since I've used these blunt IDs. Is
이번
Otis
차량을
mostly
정리하면
blunt?
잡드리겠습니다.
불길 속으로.
I guess I should have
달려라.
fucking
제대로
효율적인 대처로 대치를 휘뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지
Oh, look at those heads! Oh, let's go! Minus 10 sanity, 4 heads. Let's fucking go, and Claire.
부디
That's
그래서
what I like to
만들겠지만
see.
이 틈을
Let
놓친다면
me read.
관리자님의 역량에 대한
bleed.
계산을
Oh
재검토해야
boy,
할지도 모르겠군요.
that's a lot of bleed. Oh, the heal.
벤단, 사월을 건너.
I don't even know if I do have a decent amount of pride residence on this team. Fuck, I wasn't paying attention. Was that 2?
약점을 잘 찌른 것
I don't
같네요.
even know how much sanity he had. W Corp Otis is really fucking cool.
공간을 뭉갠다. 제압 완료.
Damn, that
승객 보건 중.
animation's clean.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만
I thought I
결국엔
remembered
이번
the
차례는
thing where...
만들어낸 것 같은데.
Oh,
답드리겠습니다.
this looks new. When did they add this? I thought I remembered a thing where W Corp Otis kept her blades out. I wonder if that's something they changed.
불길 속으로.
육청, 율, 끝.
Yeah, that fucking 45 sanity tails dodge roll kind of sucks. Yeah, it must have been with the most recent update because I do not remember that before the maintenance. Lady Faust, however, similar in appearance they may have been to the passengers. 'Tis as though they were in complete want of sense. Politified by the whale, raising her weapon to fight them. Normally, Faust would have told her more information about those monsters before the fight began. And she would not have been burdened by the sheer thought of bringing harm to the innocent. Faust began searching the area, closely observing various bodies in the general area for information. Yeah, I remember during that Kim Ji-hoon stream, there was this thing about, I'm excited for the profile stuff, even though it's like gonna barely affect gameplay. Well, it's not gonna affect gameplay at all, but like, I don't know when it's coming, but I'm excited for it. Goodbye, TVs. Aren't you usually the one who has all the answers? The sinners were starting to feel that there was something off. They might even soon realize that there's something wrong with Faust now. Don Quixote. They are not dead. Huh? Observe closer. The parts are all tethered to one another by something. Are they not? No, it's the classic W Corp effect. Oh ho! It appears that the flow of time has ceased in this space, therefore it follows that the connections that tether bodies to life and away from death remain intact. Faust managed to correctly figure out what's going on like her usual self, even if it took her slightly longer than it usually does. What did I say? We got this. Huh? But I had forgotten all the sinners were content with nodding along to whatever information Faust told us. The flow of time has ceased aboard a warp train, is it? Yisang grew pensive, emoji. Faust's lips parted for a moment before closing shut. I was starting to get a good read on her. That was an unmistakable look of regret, no matter how short-lived. Howbeit, would it not be more accurate to muse that the flow of time has decelerated to the point where, to an extra-dimensional observer, it has slowed to a stop? What is your perspective regarding this situation? What the fuck? He's fucking grilling Faust right now. Did Miss Faust just get something wrong? Oh, you saying sure is a time expert. Can you summarize it in an easier language now that we're talking about it anyway? Gladly, if you would allow me. To speak in brevity, it can be said that death is not an element aboard this train. Speak in maybe a little less brevity? To elaborate. Verily, this one's heart beats still. Lowers her head and listened closely to what appeared to be a dismembered torso. That's fucking gruesome. Their state is akin to an unassembled jigsaw puzzle, merely immobilized and separated. Though their corpus has been sundered. Oh, Warframe reference? Corpus? The concept of death is at a state of, for all intents and purposes, eternal delay aboard this train, existence in continuance of moratorium. Forced they are to be tethered upon the thinnest yet tenacious thread of life. I ill understood what hath been said here, yet they are not dead all the same. Oh fuck, I clicked twice. If their severed parts are all connected, then it can be said that no matter how entangled their bodies become, it is not impossible to eventually gather their parts together to form a single passenger. Thus, naturally, we can determine how and why the profession W Corp cleanup agent has come to be. Because someone will have to categorize and reconstruct the puzzles once the journey is over. Ever seen a wing that wasn't baffling in every sense of that word? I guess that means that as long as the train arrives at the station, they'll all be put back together. From what I learned through the W Corp IDs, their main job was to gather chunks of flesh together to bring them back to their original shapes before they boarded the trains. It's a lot more visceral when I have to look at it in person. That is quite auspicious, I fucking hate long words, news among ill tidings indeed. It soon clicked in me what Faust was, though with some effort, trying to do as I watched Don Quixote sigh with relief. Just fucking make a shit ton of Tomeris with the, Actually, I don't really know what happens if you reconstruct multiple people on one seat. I imagine it isn't pretty, but I thought the seat, like, imprinted. their original state, like it saved them, and then like at the end of the trip, you load it basically. And I've heard like, I remember I don't know if it was from Ruina, like just like the lore book, not the lore book, Jesus, from the just like ID stories, whatever, the pages, there we go. There's like this story about how people that get off the warp train are like a fucking few inches shorter or something. Cause like, I guess one of the giblets got lost. Dante. Time to whisper. I intend to collect further intelligence. Are they distortions or abnormalities? Oh yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that. That could be completely made up, like completely my headcanon. I have no fucking... I feel like that's in Ruina, but I'd have to fucking launch the game and look at it to double check. They weren't humans, that's for sure. An unclear sensation or an aura. I felt this somewhere before, but I couldn't quite pinpoint the source of this sensation. One thing I do know for sure is that sensation was not the same feeling I got from abnormalities, distortions, or even the Pekatula. I've never tried saying that word out loud. This is my first fucking time. I think it'd be more like you become a fucking W Corp would be fucked if the cleanup agents were that bad at their job. I think it was more like 6 foot, and then you become like 5.99 feet. I had to lean one way or the other. I'd say they're closer to distortions. I don't think they're either. Is it difficult to be certain at the moment? They're very similar, but different. I'm gonna guess Faust doesn't know. Faust may know, but I, at this moment, have no way of knowing. There is no need. Though the information you have provided me is rather ambiguous, it has helped to deduce something of worth. Collecting intelligence myself and creating deductions based on sparse information is quite refreshing. Holding a bloody, slimy chunk of flesh in her hands. Did she smile to herself with the gore in her hands? Finally, the awakening has begun.
정리가 예상보다 일찍 끝났군. 보고서는 내가 작성해 둘 테니 다음 정리 전에 휴식을 취하도록.
Oh shit, and Claire is still popping off though. After a round of intelligence gathering from Faust, we open the next door. It sounds like there are other survivors. Ah, passengers in danger, worry not, for I have arrived to... Yeah. Whoa, whoa, don't come any closer. Who the hell are you guys? A four-armed woman suddenly jumped in our path. She appeared without warning. Faust stumbled a little, inadvertently slapped by the figure's swinging arms. Wait, like you gave me any warning before you practically kicked that door open? Oh, would you mind moving that huge sword out of our faces? It's a bit disconcerting. Threatening? I'm just trying to protect these civilians. Those civilians. Also, is that bioprosthetic? Must be an old-timer, huh? I thought those things went out of style forever ago. Oh, you want to see what this old-timer's got left in him? Damn, Gregor. Haha, thou art from the north, verily. Thy garb is that of northerners, no? This really ain't the time. Anyway, look at... Oh shit, anyways with an S? Slight fucking grammar error? It looks like we're in the same mess here. Make way for us, yeah? Nah, how do I trust you? Got any proof that you aren't bitten? What the fuck, are they zombies? Rabies? You look completely lost. If you were in one of those economy cars, I'm sure you've seen... Are y'all from the first class car? Yeah, we just woke up from our capsules. But none of you look very... I mean, aren't first class seats supposed to be... Why didn't you say so from the get-go? Name's Sasha, multi-crack office rep. Have you not left this car for the duration of the ride, Sasha? No, I haven't. We warped over to T-Corp after picking up one of their contracts, but jeez, can you believe that this train broke down? Shit, is it even broken? I'm not feeling hungry or sleepy at all. It stinks of some shady bullshit if you ask me. You can feel all that even in a prosthetic body? Man, how could I live without my favorite hobby, drifting into a sweet nap after a pleasant meal? So, I made sure to get high quality parts for him so I can still feel hungry and sleepy. Hasn't something else of note also occurred? You bet your ass something did. How distracting. Is it hard for you to speak without being so hyper? Or at least stop swinging your arms around? Can't do that, friend. I broke all my prosthetic arms in a fight, so I'm calibrating a new set. Gotta keep swinging them if I want to sync up with the other parts anytime soon. Hit him with the... actually, I don't think... He doesn't have any, like, sinking nuke, does he? That's, like, only Spice Bush, you saying? Fucking hit him with the... Nightmare Hunt's 4 coin, I think, right? 4 coin? Or is it 3? I have no fucking clue. Anywho, I don't know what the hell's going on, but people started turning into some weird monsters all of a sudden. Haven't a goddamn clue as to who they are. Don't seem like they can understand us either. Good thing my train car didn't have a lot of those monsters. I just chopped what monsters there were to pieces and hauled the civilians to this vacant car. Sob. 3201 red color. Why did I say it like that? 3202 red colors. You've decided to protect. Talking's fucking hard as shit. To protect them despite the potential risk that they may transform as well. Oh, that's cool. Nightmare hunt them to the fucking... the wild hunt. There we go. But of course, 'tis expected duty for any valorous fixer to stand guard in the front lines against evil to protect the weak. I've been keeping a close eye on him for the last 3 days and so far 0 transformations. Go past this car and you'll see what hell on earth really means. Those monsters are constantly trying to claw their way to the front of the train. If you ask me, I'd wager some shit went down there at one of the train cars in the back. I see. That's all I can tell you about this situation, so what's your story? Why'd you rich first-class folks decide to suddenly grace us peasants with your presence? Could have made it to your swanky first-class cars, so what's your business down here? W Corp has hired us to solve this case. We are, fixers. Indeed, fixers. Faust wore a look of reluctant acceptance as she affirmed Don Quixote's declaration. They got every single one of you a first-class ticket? Your office must be rolling in the dough. Wait a goddamn second, so W Corp already knew that this would happen? But, are you really contracted to a wing? Not sure if I trust ya. As you must be well aware yourself, contracts and contract fulfillment are of paramount importance for fixers. With that in mind, please recall that W Corp is one of the most secretive wings of the city. Ah, an NDA, huh? Wouldn't want to deal with one of those... I don't even know how you pronounce an umlaut. Is that an umlaut? I don't know. Oofy? Ophie? Boys? Either. Anyway, I'm still gonna have to ask for proof that you're actually contracted by W Corp. This is the master keycard given to us by W Corp. I believe that it can open most doors aboard this train. A keycard, so you use this to open the path between you and first class and the economy car. W Corp logo. Whoa, nice materials. Alright, I won't pry it. Not like there's any cash in it for me either. So I guess you gotta go all the way down there for your job, huh? Do you have an eye in there? Is that Ufimi? The fixer finally got out of our way, then, with one of her free hands, pointed towards the opposite door. Well, it's your funeral, ladies and gents, or your victory lap if you guys are really that good. Lots of luck. I thank thee for thy kind words of courage, Fixer Sasha. I shall trust thee with protection of this fortress. Prithee, protect the innocent in my stead. Curious child. Oh shit. Oh? So like, oof me? Just as we were about to reach the other end of the car, a little passenger pulled on Don Quixote's coattails. Aye, forsooth. Whoa, are you a famous fixer? Forsooth, once again, thou mayest know me as a profoundly illustrious fixer. Whoa, I want to be a fixer too, just like you. I'm sorry, she's my daughter, and wahaha, worry not thyself, 'tis no bother at all. Thou must dream of becoming a fixer thyself, little squire. It is fortunate that someone like yourself is aboard the train. Your presence ensured that child's survival. What you're talking about all of a sudden? Come on, no need to keep up appearances between people in the same line of work. I'm just here to collect some sweet emergency contract fees from each and every one of them. Are you two on something or what? I see. I don't think Don Quixote needs to hear what she just said. Didn't know you could be like that, Faust. Be like what? You knew that there was no way the fixer was actually there to protect them out of pure goodwill, but you decided to go along with Don Quixote's delusions anyway, am I right? The dream ending. Was getting worried about what might happen if she started acting out again. Where does the M come from? Isn't it like O umlaut? Umlaut O? I don't know how you say that out loud. U-F-I? Where does the fucking M sound come from? You saw the twinkle in her eyes too, right? Don Quixote's always been energetic, but she's especially bouncy today. Eyes. I have one last thing to inquire. It'll be 30k per inquiry. That is quite an unsound decision to make for someone who claims to be in the same line of work as us. Have you considered the possibility that once our contract is successfully completed, we could include references to a particularly cooperative associate office in our report to W Corp? Whoa, are you serious? Well then, let me hear it. Were the eyes of the monster you faced red by any chance? What the fuck? I don't know, it was pretty hectic in the narrow hallway, so I didn't have the wherewithal to get a good look at their eyes. Something important? Well, for one, my prosthetic eye is red. That passenger over there's got red eyes. Oh, you there, the lady with the big sword's also got red eyes. What, is someone out there paying cash for info on red eyes or something? No, well, did I skip something? Nope. This is a question of no significance. Faust nodded lightly in her direction, then proceeded to open the next car door. Ugh, whistle. It was just as we feared, the whistle. Oh, what the fuck? The scene that appeared before us looked like it came straight out of a painting of hell. Love Town, my beloved. I'm not used to talking this much. This is a lot of fucking reading out loud. What's the math here? It's 80%, 100%. I think it maxes out at 120.
차원 파동 장갑 충전 완료.
자, 출발해 볼까요?
어우, 여기는 답답한데. 나도
The
나가서
background's
싸우면 안
pretty
되나?
cool.
계약대로 하자고요, 누님.
I wonder if the warp train is actually this wide or if this is just for like the gameplay purposes, because like I guess the seats could have been moved, but that is a lot of fucking empty space.
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 정리.
저놈을 추적해!
걸려라.
시원하네! 아, 술 맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어!
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
We occasionally talk about Love Town.
된다면 4월을
공간을 뭉갠다.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다.
기세가 수그러지는
참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
불길 속으로.
승객 무력 확인.
Speaking of Cromer Whistle, I've been really wanting to get M Faust for a while, but like,
한눈에 봤을 때는
I don't know,
불리해
there's
보이긴
just a shit ton
하지만
of IDs that I want to get.
결국에는 유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데.
Not enough lunacy.
승객 무력 확인. 제압 완료. 승객 복원 준비. 제압 완료. 승객 복원 준비. 정리가 예상보다 일찍 끝났군. 보고서는 내가 작성해 둘 테니 다음 정리 전에 휴식을 취하도록.
There's only 15 nodes. I kind of thought this would be longer. Well, I guess maybe not. I think that's just the normal fucking length for everything. Also, Captain Ishmael would never.
돈 벌러 가자.
대부분 분야에서 저는 최고의 성능을 내는 AI지만 응원은 조금 더 준비 시간이 필요합니다. 공감의 영역은 잘
불길
쓰지
속으로.
않았던 기능이라 일단
Maybe I should
원기를
have went with
털어내야
Theo
하거든요.
and these
공간을
two.
뭉갠다.
She would respectfully gaslit the passengers.
떼어내주지.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로
Oh shit,
기계는
she's gonna
입에 발린
fucking
말
lose a
따위
clash is
쉽게
what
하지
she's
않아요.
actually gonna do.
비틀거리고 있는 개체가 보입니다. 이전까지 있었던 대부분의 관리자들은
내 앞을
이
막을 자는
타이밍에서
없어.
결정적인 일격을 지시하곤 했죠.
걸려라.
Oh fuck, W4 Otis uses
약점을
those
잘
too?
찌른 것 같네요.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만
That's only
결국에는
neutral.
유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것
What
같은데.
is this rip space? Why is this flashing so hard? Oh, I guess it's a 3-coin set. What am I looking at? Oh, this one. Yeah, that's a skill tree.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
기세가 수그러지는
Oh,
제압 완료. 승객 복원 준비.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만 다음은 어디 있지?
결국에는 유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데.
oh shit. The fucking meaty rip space.
중계하듯이 말하는 좀 마시라니까.
그래도 완전 좋은 판단이었던 건 사실이네요.
If you're about to go into Canto 5,
개체에게 일격을
if you have like
가하는데
a decent
성공했습니다.
support, I guess it isn't a big deal, but
샴페인을
like,
가져오기엔 너무 이른
a
타이밍이긴
decent
하겠지만
Pierce ID is
이
gonna go a
전투가
long way.
성공적으로 끝나면 모두의 희생을 기리며 축제를 드는 것은
Oh, dude,
나쁘지
Philip
않겠죠.
Sinclair or End Player? Honestly, if you're already past Canto 3 and 4, End Player's still really good, but like, I feel like Philip Player might be more fun.
이 작살
And he might have a Pierce skill, I don't know.
담결지. 승객
I'd
무력
also just always say a Walpurgis ID.
한눈에 봤을
If
때는
since it's coming up,
불리해
you may
보이긴
as well shard
하지만
it when you get the chance.
결국에는 유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데.
I have enough charge.
가자.
다 죽어라.
다음은 어디요?
Holy fails.
다음은
It
어디요?
doesn't
빛의
really matter.
유효한 속성을 정확하게 간파했습니다. 제 예상만큼 관리자님의 능력이 우수하다는 것이 증명되는 것 같아.
Battling in a narrow hallway really takes a lot out of you. So like, I guess in the art, it's like a more narrow hallway, and then there's seats on the other side. Wait, no, it's not. Are you for real? Hold on, I'm googling this. Are you trolling me? There's no way it's actually tomorrow. Well, Fergus, Noct, Limbus. Oh. Oh, it's on the fucking roadmap? Limbus roadmap. I'm fucking awful at Googling. I can't find the roadmap. I'll look for it later. Making big movements when there's not a lot of room to move around in takes more energy than you think. Oh, I see that. Are you sure it's not, that's just like, are you sure that's not the month? It's like 2024, 08 to 09. That's fuck. Oh god. August to September. And then Walpurgis is in September. Like, instead of it being on the 9th, it's on the 9th month. What are these things, Faust? I've been wondering that too. Why are y'all so tight-lipped? Those entities are? What do you think those entities are? Huh? Didn't I just ask you the same question? Oh no, are you giving us a chance to come up with our own answers first? Faust did not confirm or nor deny his question. There are some things I learned after fighting them, I think. These monsters aren't mad at us, nor do they want to attack us because we're an obstacle. Quite, 'tis apparent that they hunger for aught, charging at anyone and anything in a desperate quest of it. Right, that's strange. Oh, fuck, I skipped it. I thought hunger or thirst wasn't a thing aboard these trains. It could be determined from the entity's attack patterns that their offensives were not based on rational thought. The source of this behavior can only be traced back to primal aggressiveness. Yes, and? Was there anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, I think they all had red eyes. Their bodies wreathed in blankets of red. I smelled blood, so that's likely what they're made of. Then it must be that the red was congealed, nay, crystallized blood. Thank you all, your input has all been very helpful. It's my turn to start whispering. What did you learn from that? We are in luck, Dante. I read upon the subject as a tangent while perusing information regarding our next destination moments before we boarded the train. And while that will be a useful element in resolving the situation, the sinners have been a very good source of intelligence when it comes to categorizing and identifying important evidence from the available sea of information. You know what to do to blow this case wide open? Nothing can be said with absolute certainty at the moment, however, this will be a good place for us to start. With that, Faust turned around and faced the rest of the sinners. I will now present before you a solution to this predicament. Huh? Is there something else we gotta do other than beating the crap out of whatever's in our way? That will not change, no. However, what I am about to share will give you a better understanding of the purpose behind W Corp's contract and provide us with the possible means of finding the method by which we may complete it. It is of high likelihood that the entity behind the incidents on this train, and by extension every incident on the same nature that has occurred in previous warp train trips, is a blood fiend.
이게 바로 소위 말하는 엘리트?
Based W
승진시켜주시오,
Corp
관리자나리!
가스 점화! 엔진 시동!
A blood fiend? What's a blood fiend? A blood fiend? What in the name of wings is that? Huh, you of all people haven't heard about blood fiends? Thought you were our team expert on obscure lore. Verily, I have not once heard mention of these blood fiends. Perchance I have let a magazine article slip from my memory? Don Quixote furrowed her brows, genuinely lost. It was as though the very words sounded alien to her. I thought they were just monsters in stories to scare children in the night. They're supposed to be afraid of garlic and sunlight, right? Oh, that sounds a bit different from what I've heard. I heard their fear of garlic and sunlight is just a rumor, and what they're really afraid of is water. I have been briefed on the existence of blood fiends in the past when I served as a commanding officer, and I have seen the dregs that they command. Though my memory isn't very clear, I am certain that these monsters here do not resemble what I've seen. I've seen one call themselves a blood fiend among the fingers, but the things that blood fiend commanded weren't like these rubber textured ones. There's something off about this one. That one didn't spawn these dregs with abandon like this. But aren't you supposed to know this already? Yes, I see that some sinners may have encountered blood fiends in the past. A long-winded explanation seems unnecessary. As many of you have stated thus far, the entities we faced in this train do not appear to be blood fiends. In a sense, they are dreg-like beings that have failed to become kindreds. They are referred to as blood bags among relevant parties, according to information I am aware of. Not a terrible name. Why would anyone name someone blood bags? As has been said prior, it is impossible for passengers to disappear aboard warp trains under normal circumstances. Though our reserve of intelligence regarding the warp train, or W Corp, is vast, if incomplete, we could not find a possible exception to the above rule. Within that reserve of intelligence, however, I've discovered that inserting a previously unseen variable into the equation allows for a formulation of a new hypothesis. Wait, you're saying that these blood fiends can completely erase people or passengers from existence? A more accurate descriptor would be to say that they are either dissolved or vaporized. Dissolved. No matter the degree of violence the passengers may indulge in, no matter how severe the damages may be, warp trains can revert them to their initial states at the beginning of the journey. Among several interpretations of the word violence involves cannibalization, of course. Ugh. However, as the passengers' collective time itself is in moratorium for the duration of the train's operation, digestion is not a biological process that should be active. In other words, even the devoured passengers could be reconstructed. If they are merely stuffed into the digestive tract, then I suppose they could gut the passengers to retrieve the chewed up chunks of the other passengers and piece them back together via the vein-like things connecting each individual. However, such is not true for blood bags. Blood bags are, by their nature, obsessed with blood. Their existence hinges on supplying themselves with the blood of their victims. And it is said that they must consume a minuscule amount of blood to maintain their forms. Didn't you just say that digestion's not a thing while we're on the train? If I were to continue my deductions, perhaps consumption of blood for blood fiends and blood bags is a fundamentally different process from our consumption of nutrients for energy. To them, blood is a culmination, an entailment of something that forms the self, including but not limited to emotions, ambitions, wealth, purposes of existence. Then, it must naturally follow that they can spend their blood at will, which is a process that is isolated from other biological processes such as digestion. I ain't following even half of that. You exist in moratoria of time at the present moment, Heathcliff. Yet your emotions still persist, do they not? Anger, sorrow, and joy, they continue to spark within you. Oh, well, I suppose they are. Though we cannot tell whether they may be in a state of alteration or whether they remain ensnarled in the wheel of creation and destruction, it can be said that emotions, once past, exist not in continuation. The passengers' will to persist, the worth of this very existence in which they thrive, do they not all gently atrophy into non-existence even amidst the ceased time? Mr. Faust seeks to illustrate the similarity between how emotions are to ourselves and how blood is to blood fiends. Gotcha, so that's why she said their blood is vaporized, huh? If that's the case, then the very blood that's supposed to bind these chunks of flesh together will also evaporate, which means that they can't be pieced back together. There is no incongruence in that logic. Everyone fell silent for a moment. This is way too much information at once. I'd like to ask a few questions, if you would permit me. Yi Sang was the first to break the silence. Could it be said that blood bags are direct creations of blood fiends? If such is the case, then by which method do they? That information is inaccessible at the moment. Faust replies, avoiding Yi Sang's gaze. There isn't anything I can do about this. The sinners will only get more stressed if they find out, and that's something Faust and I both want to avoid. Inaccessible. Ah, indeed. Now I recall what you have said in the past. This is only a speculation. However, I assume that a form of direct physical contact is needed to turn an individual into a blood bag. Ah, that's the biting thing, I guess. If such were not the case, then we, who are likely the greatest obstacles to this entity's goal at this moment, would have been the first ones to be turned. Indeed. In that case, that villain of a blood fiend must be hiding out somewhere aboard this train. Indeed, if we are to believe the words of the fixer from earlier, there's a high likelihood that the horde is advancing in this direction from the back of the train. In other words, continuing down the train cars will lead us straight to the blood fiend. Very well, I shan't forsake this opportunity to bring peace to the souls of the innocent passengers who have perished by the villain's hands. Dante. It seems that Don Quixote was now invigorated. The other sinners also seemed satisfied now that we had a clear sight in our goal. Well then, let's go. Making the best of what's available to us at the moment. Let's move forward for now. Oh, I forgot this was a fucking battle chapter. Oh my god.
세피라들의 역할이긴 하죠. 관리자님도 알다시피 저는 언제나 수십 명의 몫을 해내고 있으니까요.
가자!
기세가 수비하시는 반격의 기회다! 후! 저것들도 취한 것처럼 흐느적대는데?
그래서 저러는 건 아니겠지만요. 기회를 잡으시는 게 좋겠어요.
불길 속으로.
승객이 무려 확인.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다. 관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠. 이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화네요.
I wonder what the I already forgot what the enemies were called before we had the blood bag conversation.
승객 무력
저놈을 추적해!
제압 완료. 승객 복원 준비.
그 오물을 다 죽어라.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
다음은 어디요?
뭐든지 하나씩 줄여가면서 시작하는 거지.
누님도 술병을 하나씩만.
Why is oh the
참 좋을
fucking
텐데
everyone
말이죠.
dying? I'm like, why is Captain Ishmael's fucking whatever you call it so low?
내 앞을 막을 자는
Sanity.
없어.
저놈을 추적해!
시원하네. 아, 술 맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 쓰는 것 같네요.
Wait, are those W Corp employees? What the fuck?
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다. 관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠. 이런 과정들을 통틀어
Was that over there?
신뢰라고
Were they
부른다고
just not paying
하더군요.
attention?
긍정적인 변화네요.
육청! 육청!
제대로 찝었군. 자, 한 건 했고.
Oh no, not the fucking NVL.
공간을 뭉갠다.
The 3 charge potency, 2 charge count.
이 작살엔 필살의 집념이 담겨있지. 보았나? 적은 이렇게 진리가졌다. 우리의 확고한 승리가 눈앞에 있다. 담겨있지. 보았나? 적은 이렇게 진리가졌다.
직원들이
우리의
우세한
확고한
환경에
승리가
있습니다.
눈앞에 이번 차량을 정리한 후
관리자님이
답드리겠습니다.
제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠. 이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화네요.
She have a charge potency thing? Why does she have charge potency?
벤던 사월을 보내.
공간을 뭉갠다.
다음은 어디요? 걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고. 오호, 이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는군요.
I haven't even looked at the
기억해둬야지.
EX
뭘
clear
그렇게
conditions. Are
끄적이는
they
거야,
just
미카?
finish in 10
실전에서는
rounds?
다 기세라니까. 정리가 예상보다 일찍 끝났군. 보고서는 내가 작성해 둘 테니 다음
Yeah.
정리 전에 휴식을 취하도록.
Also, BRB. I am back.
돈 벌러 가자.
어떤 시간과 공간에 계시는 관리자님이 들을진 몰라도 그때를 위해서 미리 응원을 녹음해야 한다는 거군요.
It was only neutral.
아 이런, 이것도
이거
녹음되고
와,
있는지는 미처 몰랐네요.
불길 속으로.
이 작살엔 필살의 집념이 담겨있지.
Oh my god, Insult actually lost that fucking clash?
보시다시피 앞에 무방비해진 개체가 있네요. 부디 그래선 안 되겠지만 이 틈을 놓친다면 관리자님의 역량에 대한 계산을 재검토해야 할지도 모르겠군요.
Does this guy have sanity? It's 2 cards. Oh, I don't want to give Sinclair
내 앞을
sanity.
막을 자는 없어. 자, 한 건 했고.
공간을 뭉갠다.
Massive 27 damage there.
생체 반응이 끊어진 개체의 기록이 감지됩니다. 만약 제가 인간이었고 조금 더 쾌활한 성격이었다면 당신과 하이파이브 같은 걸 시도해보았을지도 모르겠네요.
저놈을 쏘게! 잘했군! 한 놈도 남지 않을 때까지 지금을 반복한다! 쉴 새는 없다! 승객 무력화 확인.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다. 관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠. 이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하다군요.
불경!
긍정적인 변화네요.
공간을 뭉갠다.
효율적인
Not as much
대처로
damage as
개체를
this
꿰뚫었습니다.
game.
참고로 기계는 입에 달린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
아스트로드 돋보주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌르는 것 같네요.
걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고. 오호, 이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는군요. 기억해둬야지.
뭘 그렇게 끄적이는 거야, 미카?
실전에서는 다 비슷하라니까. 어디요?
적에게 치명성이
기회인
있었군요.
것 같소.
관리자님은
다음은
당신이
어디요?
생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
Yeah, yeah.
벤다는
Energy.
사활을 건다.
Fucking charge. That's what it's called.
제대로 찝었군.
제압 완료.
저놈을
승객 보건 준비.
육참 칼을 베어내고 육참
지금이 기회인
I
것
have a
같소.
wasted grip space, to
개체의
be
유효한
honest.
속성을 정확하게 간파했습니다.
가자.
제 예상만큼 관리자님의 능력이 우수하다는 것이 증명되는 것 같아
Oh,
다행이군요.
nice.
승객 무력화 확인. 공간을 뭉갠다. 제압 완료. 승객 보건 준비.
열을 끈다.
Manager Esquire, halt! Behold this poor fellow, he lives still. Don Quixote, her round eyes wide open, began sprinting somewhere. Stay away from me, you monsters. Hey man, we're not those monsters, you alright? Huh? That arm, you're starting to mutate too, aren't you? You must be turning into some bug-like monster. What? No, this is... Yeah, well, no surprise there, I guess. I suppose there's no right way to tell away. There's no way to tell right away whether this arm's a monster or prosthetic or whatnot. It's possible that you're mistaken due to its bioprosthetic being of an older, outdated make that is now rarely seen in the city. Ah, prosthetic. That's a relief. I thought those crazy bastards were trying to break in again. As you can see, my legs are messed up. I had no choice but to hide in here. So what are the W Corp employees doing aboard this train? Huh? You're right. From what we found about the work train through the IDs, I can't imagine why any of them would ever willingly board this train. You're the contract fixers, right? We were ordered to assist you with your contract. I said we, but I'm the only one left. Every single one of my colleagues suddenly began losing their minds in that car over there. This cannot be. Faust, is there truly no way to cure the blood bags? My apologies, the access to that information is prohibited at this moment as well. Though her voice and expression were both as serene as always, there was something gloomy about the way she said it. I may have been too reliant on Faust in too many places. Faust muttered in a barely audible volume. I don't know what I can do to help the sinners in a situation like this either. I'd also grown too used to Faust's omnipresent omniscience because I could always trust it to be there for us. I was starting to realize that I don't have the means to consider and make my own decisions at moments like these. No, maybe I was too reliant on everyone else. If, when the time comes for them to rely on me, when they can no longer function as they usually do for whatever reason, can I really manage them well? Lead them to the right answers? Doubt, colored with fear, begins to rise like a dark plume of smoke. Well, what can I do, right? Ah. The fuck is that? The agent struggled to some corner of the room with his wounded leg and pulled on a lever. It made good use of this space, and the wall behind what initially appeared to be a folding chair for employees swung open. Oh, what in the name of the wings is this? Perchance thou hast hidden here a weapon most powerful, a weapon most afeared by the blood fiends? That holds some resemblance to a capsule we saw in the first-class car, but why would that thing be here? The cleanup agent slipped into the pod that appeared in the wall. Phew, finally. What is thou seeketh to do? W Corp prepared a small hibernation pod for employees in case of these emergencies. Barely. Then, huh? You're left with the rest of the mission. He's just piecing out. With that, he settled into the capsule and shut the hatch behind him. With the door covering the pod closed, the folding chair and a wall covered with the viscera remained. He's gone. There he goes. He has departed the scene. We blankly stared at the wall the agent disappeared into. Well then, I guess let's move on to the next car. Keep on keeping on.
정리가 예상보다 일찍 끝났군. 보고서는 내가 작성해 둘 테니 다음 정리 전에 휴식을 취하도록.
Oh yeah, here we go.
이야, 시간 한번 더럽게 잘 가네.
That's some cool art. He's chilling. 20 per ticket. See ya, Heathcliff.
뭐야? 이 자식 바람 꿈은 몇 개 챙겼다고 벌써 저 세상으로 가버렸는데?
Heathcliff. It is one peaceful afternoon. The child slowly turns his head to the side at the voice calling his name. He's been staring blankly at the ceiling for a while. Heathcliff, come on, are you planning to zone out for the rest of the day too? It's lunch already. It's only lunch? Bloody hell, mate. What a slow day. Office fills with amused laughter as the child begins pulling his hair with all 4 of his hands. Maybe the laughter made the child feel a bit self-conscious. He quickly attempted to change the subject. So what is it? Why'd you call me? We're going out for lunch at Ham Ham Pang Pang just around the corner. Are you coming with? Nah, I ain't going. Enjoy your lunches, lads. Oh, really? I thought you loved fish and chips. Their new seasonal menu. I've seen you go for that every lunch for a while. I ain't hungry. Oh, don't tell me. Did you replace your digestive tract with a prosthetic too? Ugh. I could never bring myself to do that. Wait, that ain't either, yeah? He raises his voice in a burst of frustration before dousing it with a heavy sigh. I have a lot on my mind today, that's all. Well then, give us a call if you change your mind. I don't mind picking one up to go for you. The co-workers left the building, leaving the child all on his own. With no one left inside the building other than the child himself, the room was completely silent, save for the sound of ticking clock hands. No noise of tapping on typewriters, calculators, or even pen scratching against the paper. Tisk, now ain't that a bother. Maybe I should have left my eardrums intact. He absent-mindedly rubbed his ears, which had been recently replaced with a prosthetic, then he went back to staring blankly at the ceiling. The child's been having funny thoughts as of late. It ain't there anymore. The fun of battle, it's gone. Violence was an old friend of the child ever since his Backstreets days, but it's never felt this dull. A good singular strike used to make him laugh with exhilaration. Facing down a powerful enemy used to make his competitive spirit burn brightly, even as he grumbled. Of course, when he cooled from the heat of battle, he'd go back to his usual self, thinking things that an average person might think, not wanting to go so far as to kill someone, for example. Or maybe that he might have gone a punch too far. But he's been getting less and less of those thoughts as of late. The same was true for the day he participated in a contract expedition. You crazy son of a... You almost lost your arm just there. Yeah, whatever, mate. I'll just replace it if that happens. Boss lady's got dozens of backup arms already. You must have lost your mind. The child was, as per the terms of the contract, battling a syndicate of the Backstreets. Some among them were using prosthetics as well, but most of them had installed at workshops of dodgy quality, and there weren't that many of them anyway. Most syndicate henchmen reacted with the same horror as they faced the child. Attacks that other fixers would back away from, the kind of sweeping attacks that would make room for them to momentarily reach. You daft, keep stabbing at my arm, and you won't ever hit my circuitry. You won't ever hit my circuitry where it matters. None of them even fazed the child. Instead, he gladly took the hit and continued to advance closer to his enemies. A destroyed arm, a punctured shoulder, none of that was that critical. He could simply replace them within minutes. The child, a fixer with prosthetics, did not care, no matter how much damage he took, as long as he had enough cash. The battle was easy, of course, but the child was bored. Even after a grueling battle, all he could think was, oh, we won. Even as he stabbed his enemies forcefully with his spear, all he could think was, oh, there he goes. The fact that none of the violence inspired anything other than the simplest, most surface-level observations was mind-numbingly boring to him. Still zoning out, Heathcliff? The child snapped out of his dry reminiscence of the expedition when his coworker called over to him. The child was about to thank his coworker for so kindly bringing him a sandwich, but he looked down, noticing his coworker wildly swinging all 4 of his arms while pointing at the table. He had spilled his cup of coffee all over the table, drenching the report he had spent the morning writing. Huh, did I spill that? Who else, man? How should I know? I don't feel heat. Okay, but isn't that report due today? How are you so okay with losing your entire morning's work? Kraken, more things to waste my afternoon time on. The child's face was contorted into a frown. Seeing that, the coworker quickly pushed the child away from the desk, swiftly cleaned up any surviving documents, removed the cup, and wiped down the table. All that task was rather quickly and competently done once all 4 arms of the coworker got to work, and Only when the table was squeaky clean did he return to his seat. The child watched all of it in flabbergasted silence, let out a hollow chuckle, and then leaned back in his chair. Maybe I should quit. An utterance full of emptiness. He's been spending days upon days sitting in the office, save for the days when they go work on a contract. He had only planned to work here for a little while before quitting, but he's been unable to bring himself to get to the last part of his plan. Where else would I work or go? What a bother. The multi-crack office, which was composed only of his fixers with prosthetics, was a comfortable space for the child. Spilling hot coffee at someone was no big deal here. He could also hold conversations about replacing his arms and legs without making things awkward. Maybe it was that sense of camaraderie within this group that made him feel awkward every time he left the premises of the building. Grabbing piping hot items without hesitation, walking for hours upon hours without ever getting tired. There's those little things, those minor details that have been making the child feel a sense of alienation ever since he replaced most of his body with prosthetic parts. Well, I suppose I ain't going anywhere without my family. Wonder if we'll pick up any interesting contracts today. Waiting and waiting for a small pebble to make the tiniest ripple in his tedious, uneventful life, the child looked back at the ever so familiar ceiling. Days rolling, clicking by like cogs in a machine. The child was merely growing used to that kind of life, the life in the city. Oh shit, am I out of Encephalon? Oh fuck, what's the math on this? 80, 100, 120.
준비되었습니다.
This music's kind of bumping.
화점에 두지.
출발합니다.
말뚝을 쏘.
좋아.
고래를 향해.
차원 파동 장갑 충전 완료.
사실 이런 보모구실은 제가 아니라
뺀다면
세피라들의
서울을
역할이긴 하죠. 관리자님도 알다시피 저는 언제나 수십 명의 몫을 해내고 있으니까요.
시원하네. 아, 술 맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
걸려라.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
What is everything fucking struggling for?
가자.
Nice.
승객 무력화 확인.
제대로 찝었군.
직원들이 우세한
충전기는
환경에
점검.
있습니다.
다시
관리자님은 주말을 집중해서
제압 완료.
듣고 있었다는
탈출
결과가
경찰의
전해되었습니다. 이런 과정들을 통해
무력화.
신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요.
오물을
긍정적인 변화네요.
떼어내주지.
2 heads on -9 sand. Nice.
생체 반응이 끊어진 개체의 기록이
충전기는
감지됩니다. 만약
다시
제가
점검.
인간이었고 조금 더 쾌활한 성격이었다면 당신과 하이파이브 같은 걸 시도해보았을지 모르겠네요.
공간을 뭉갠다.
뼈를 깎 살을 베어내고
제대로 차. 한 건 했고
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다.
내 앞을 막을
관리자님이
자는 없어.
제 말을
Shit, is that
집중해서
double
듣고
or
있었다는
slice?
결과겠죠. 이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요.
다음은 어디요?
긍정적인 변화네요.
이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는군요.
개체의 유효한 속성을 정확하게 간파했습니다.
실전에서는 다
제 예상만큼
기세라니까.
관리자님의 능력이 우수하다는
Is
것이
that
증명되는 것 같아
part of the
다행이군요.
attack animation, or is that part of the map?
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해.
착수
자, 출발해 볼까요?
어우, 여기는 답답한데. 나도 나가서 싸우면 안 되나?
계약대로 하자고요, 언니.
I'm surprised this is clashing before.
가자.
Oh no. Oh yes.
걸려라.
아, 술맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
후, 저것들도 취한 것처럼 흐느적대는데?
그래서 저러는 건 아니겠지만요. 기회를 잡으시는 게 좋겠어요.
I don't really think it's
나는
worth
언제나
dodging.
달려나갈 준비가 되었어.
This is a chain mechanic.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로
살을
기계는
베어내고
입에 발린 말까지 쉽게 하지 않아요. 직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다.
내 앞을 막을 자는
관리자님이
없어.
제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는
공간을
결과겠죠.
뭉갠다.
이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화는
다음은 어디요? 오, 이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는군요.
뭘 그렇게 끄적이는 거야, 미카? 실전에서는 다 기세라니까.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만
네, 결국에는 유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데.
공간을 뭉갠다.
제대로 찝었군.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다. 관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는
내
결과겠죠.
앞을 막을 자는 없어.
이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화는
육청
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
I wonder how many
한눈에
passengers you can
봤을
fit on a
때는
warp train.
불리해 보이긴 하지만
탈출 개체 확인.
결국에는 유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데.
탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다. 탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다.
뼈를 깎는다 다 죽어라
한눈에 봤을 봤을 때는
탈출
유리해 보이긴
개체
하지만
결국에는
물론
유리한 구도를
거의-
만들어낸 것 같은데
그 우물을 떼어내주지. 가져가라.
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다. 아직
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
아, 저런 건 그냥 쓱싹쓱싹 하면 끝이라고. 편하게 해.
자기 일 아니라고 그렇게 말하시면 어떡해요.
Just kind of hoping Pride Resonance would make it better. Neutral.
응? 지금 바쁜데? 이런 것만 빨리.
사월을 건드린다. 그 우물을 떼어내주지.
시원하네. 아이들 같은 독보주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
직원의 상태가 나빠 보이는군요. 흔히 이걸 나사
아,
빠진
끝?
상태라고 표현하던가요? 방금 건 실없는 농담이 아닌 긴장 완화를 위한 조력이었습니다.
불길 속으로.
승객 무력 확인.
비틀거리고 있는 개체가 보입니다. 이전까지 있었던 대부분의 관리자들은 이 타이밍에서 결정적인 일격을 지시하곤 했죠.
탈출 개체 확인.
승객 무력 확인.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만
결국에는 유리한 구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데
I wish win rate shows the fucking didn't always go for yield my flesh.
된다면 사월을 건.
제압 완료.
효율적인 대처로 개체를
개체가
찾았습니다.
약화되는 것 같습니다.
참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만 내 앞을
결국에는
막을
유리한
자는
구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데
육청.
제압 완료.
공간을 뭉갠다. 공간을 뭉갠다. 제압 완료. 승객 복원 준비.
걸려라. 오호, 이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는군요. 기억해둬야지.
뭘 그렇게 끄적이는 거야, 미카? 실전에서는 딱 기세라니까.
개체의 유효한 속성을 정확하게 간파했습니다. 제
다음은
예상만큼 관리자님의 능력이 우수하다는 것이 증명되는 것 같아 다행이군요.
Oh Jesus, that kind of hurts.
제압 완료. 승객 복원 준비. 승객 무력 확인.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다.
탈출 개체 확인.
관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과가
탈출 개체가 준비되었습니다.
이런 과정들을 통틀어 신뢰라고 부른다고 하다 보니
공간을
긍정적인
뭉갠다.
변화네요.
탈출 교대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
이런 기술이 있으면 배우고 싶은데?
하루의 의뢰를 몇 건은 더 수행할 수 있게 되겠네요.
그 비율 그대로 술값 지출은 더 늘겠지만.
Something caught my attention from the corner of my eye after another round of brutal combat. Huh? What's this now? Oh, T-Corp box. We were on the final car adjacent to the freight car when we discovered an odd box with a T-Corp logo on it. Ah, 'tis the emblem of T-Corp. It appears that it was broken in the fierceness of our battle. Isn't that chief executive guy Hubert, right? Didn't he offhandedly mention something about partnering with the other wings? I guess they were in cahoots with W Corp. Such collaborations are not limited to T Corp. It is oft the case that a wing may work with another. It is only on rare occasions that they urgently request the assistance of less significant, lesser-known corporations such as our own Limbus company. Their choice appears to be quite irregular. Seems like W Corp's heydays are long behind them. Just like this wall that's falling apart, revealing what's behind. Oh, speaking of falling apart, this room sure got messed up, huh? It was difficult for me to ignore how Rhodia hurriedly swerved to a different subject as though she had made a mistake. Even the tone of her voice shifted like she was catching herself. The various destroyed prosthetic parts covered in human remains indicate that this train car was boarded by several prosthetic-equipped fixers. I can't think about that right now. Let's deal with the task at hand first. That I can't, or I can? No, I can't. Maybe these people are from the same offices as that guy we met at the platform, remember? He said he was warped over to T-Corp on an expedition. Look, it's almost like they're all wearing standardized sets of prosthetics. Same make, same model, everything. I believe I've read articles stating that certain offices do exclusively hire fixers with prosthetics. Huh? Wait, We were walking through the bloodied train car when we suddenly heard Sinclair's voice crack as though he saw something awful. Faye, is he the one we encountered at the platform? This is the fixer who suddenly started venting at us. Yeah, and he said something about going to T-Corp on an expedition and failing. They brought a whole train car full of fixers for this contract? I guess calling it an expedition was no exaggeration. There are over a dozen broken arms strewn about. They must have fought valiantly by replacing the broken arms with backup arms, perchance a strategy indeed. That would explain all the broken prosthetic arms and legs. Executive manager, this is like an aftermath of a battle between the fixers and the blood bags. There were many similar cases during the war. Those using prosthetics would simply let their bodies be destroyed in battle because they considered them to be disposable as long as there was cash remaining in their wallets. Of course, this blatant lack of self-preservation often led them to early graves. Maybe that's true. I see, there are more than a single possible interpretation of the same scene. I'll remember both of your inputs. That's a good attitude. Employees with attitude like yours often make it to the end of the war. Yes, well, good for them. Faust answers Otis in an uncharacteristically snappy manner. Signs of fatigue were creeping into her pensive expression. You alright, Faust? It's rare to see any actual expression from her. I was starting to get worried. I am physically unharmed, yet, yes, I am alright. However, I do not enjoy the circumstance which we find ourselves in. It is as though I am casting in nets to nowhere while lost and isolated in a blind sea. I could usually complete these deductions within moments after establishing a few basic cross-references between the accessible information. Her voice was such a whisper for the second part of her sentence that even I could barely hear what she was saying. I know what you mean. Feeling like you're completely lost, obsessively casting net after net over the black, rippleless lake in desperate hopes that one of them might pull in something we could eat. No way to tell where we are. No way to tell if there's even anything to eat under that glassy water surface. Grasping at the straws, you know? The sense I find mired in is not unlike your own. It is like lying my back over an unseen grave, for the reflection of radiance upon my eyes and the sanguine scent hanging from the tip of my olfactory tells me not of the forging path. seems the first part of the sentence was well heard by Ishmael and Yi Sang. However, they walked up to her and shared a few words of consolation. By the way, I don't ever recall you talking like that, Faust. I don't know what it is, but you feel different from your usual self somehow. That is... Oh, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm actually glad to learn you had a softer side. This unseen side of yours, it is unfamiliar, yet quite fresh. Is that so? Faust's reply was curt. She closed her eyes. As per the information provided by the pamphlet at the platform, it is likely that the train is composed of 12 passenger cars and 1 freight car. Because we are on the 11th car at the moment, that leaves a single car between us and the freight car in which Mephistopheles is secured. Which means that there is a high likelihood that we will soon encounter the Blood Fiend responsible for the creation of blood bags aboard this train, just beyond that door. Well, how strong could it be if its fodders are this weak? There were so many of them, but we practically smashed through their entire horde. A different, more accurate interpretation would be to say that a being capable of commanding a force as large as the blood bags we have defeated should be considered a high-risk entity. Although this is not common knowledge, there is a subcategory of fixers called blood fiend hunters who specialize in, yes, hunting blood fiends. Assuming that information is true, it can be inferred that blood fiends are difficult foes that require a certain expertise to defeat. Now that I'm thinking about it, if blood bags are like mindless thralls to blood fiends, then they're kind of like their private army, right? Being a power who can create a force of their own without concern for lowered morale or desertion, wartime or not, they will always make for formidable foes. The sinners each exchange various opinions with one another, possible strategies, estimations of the blood fiend's strength, and all of a sudden, fie on this indecisive idleness, our quest is to defeat the villain who hath brought such pain and misery upon this train, is it not? It may be vaporizing the lifeblood of the innocent as we speak. Mighty or feeble, I care not. I swear upon mine honor that I shall smite this foe and let my hand of justice be the judge of their fate. Let us hasten now. Don Quixote's sudden outburst immediately put a stop to the chatter. She's not wrong. Besides, we have to deal with the Blood Fiend to complete our contract. With that, I opened the door leading to the final car of this train.
제압 완료. 경보에는 익숙해지시는 게 좋을 겁니다. 아직 50일까지 많은 날이 남은 것을 파우스트는 알고 있으니까요.
Oh boy, 15 turns. It's gonna be a long one. Do I have... No, I don't. I guess I could bust out the T-Corp.
차원 파동 장갑 충전 완료.
This room. What is with that look on thy faces? Thou standest in the audience of the prince, where thy obsequious smiles? He must be the cause of this outbreak, the blood fiend we must defeat. Fall to thy knees and grovel before royalty. Who the hell are you to make those demands? I shall impart this upon thee only once, so listen well. You may call me Cassetti, 6th kindred, a kindred of the 6th generation, the rightful prince and the refuge from his family. Art thou the villain who hath brought such destruction and massacre upon this vessel? Thou art a chatty one so rudely before your prince, and I am feeling generous, for I'm quite sated at the moment. As thou must have seen on thy journey here, this place is a hall of banquet for a feast most majestic. No matter how many blood bags I create, no matter how much I devour them, the humans just won't stop coming. I only enjoy what is cast into my maw. He dons a mask for the purpose of merrymaking. If we're really going to exchange pleasantries, why don't you take that mask off? Do you not even know the basic etiquette? Oh, this mask. Won't come off, can't take it off, shouldn't take it off. There's no prince without the mask. We were so ugly behind the mask, so we all decided to hide how repulsive we've become. Once I've drunk your blood in full, then it'll all go back to how it used to be. Only then can I unmask myself. Who stitched that mask to your face skin? Not a half bad job. Of course it's excellent, haha, because this mask was crafted by none other than the great, the eminent, the barber himself, whose name I dare not even speak, but it hurts so much. No, I'm smiling. Look how hard I'm smiling and laughing. Ah ha 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 ha. Yes, I am the prince, that's what I am. He's a bloody loon, innit? Alright, done with the giggles then. Get ready for the beating of your life. I enjoy things like you and your friends. Don't cry, bawling and bowing and sniveling on the ground just for your lives. Lunge at me instead, the aggression, the boiling blood, oh how I love the fire. What are you, daft? Look around, there are 13 of us and only one of you. Do not let your guard down, Heathcliff. This entity has managed to turn countless passengers of this train into his blood bags. I ain't letting my guard down, but we blasted through so many blood bags we couldn't even keep count, didn't we? Couldn't even keep count. Oh, no, but the count is so important. I have to keep count of our visitors. Yes, of course. I do remember to keep count of our dearest visitors. Yes, sir, I do. You have no idea how powerful I am, and I shall not relinquish my throne to thee from this budding kingdom. All I have to do is sit here and do nothing, and the blood bags present themselves before me. There's no paradise like this out here. You have no idea what I did to create this place. Oh, how elated my forebear kindreds would be, should they be here to witness what I have created. This cornucopia of abundance, this pleasure, oh, this freedom. For this kingdom is mine, I made it, I'm not giving it away. This is rather curious. It appears that this blood fiend leaves this car only on rare occasions. Yet we have seen signs of his insidious influence throughout every car we have visited so far. Then what he meant by how the blood bags present themselves before him has to be... Hold on a minute. Yeah! A figure suddenly and frantically charged into this car. It was Sasha, the fixer we ran into in one of the earlier cars. Cassetti shrinks into his throne at the sudden burst, terror apparent on his face. In his face. Ah, it is thee, by thee. Hast thou truly journeyed here to assist us in our quest? Lo, that villain is the blood fiend responsible for the tragedies that transpired aboard this train. Thou will slay our cur and eventually lead the passengers thou hast protected thus far out of this train. Blood fiends. What if there was more than a single blood fiend on board, one so capable of rational thought? Damn, you actually made it all the way back here? I guess the wings don't give out contracts to just anyone. I fought to my damnedest too. I was still the last one standing. What's she talking about? In the end, I stood alone with nothing but a single one of these 4 arms left. Kind of funny how the perspective on life can just completely flip when you're really, really in the shit. I think my last thoughts were, man, I don't want to die. So I fell on my knees and pleaded. I told him that. Don Quixote, watch out! I'd do anything to live. Blood rapidly crystallized around Sasha like a suit of armor as she swung her greatsword at the sinners, striking them even before Faust finished her sentence. Ah, what did I say? I commanded you to give me a warning before jumping in like that. And you know how loud your stupid arms are? I thought the family had come for me. I'm sorry, Lord Cassetti. Allow me to introduce my kindred to thee, to be the first of many since my escape for the kingdom I intend to build. My kindred, my loyal squire who shall be at my side as I build a dynasty of my own, my family. Lord Cassetti, I had intended to select the more powerful of the bunch to send to this car, as you have commanded me, but the humans in my car were all weaklings, so I present before you this group from the first-class car, kindred. Are you even aware of the exact nature of a kindred? Nah, but I can tell you this. When I accepted my lord's blood into my veins, it was as though I was reborn. I see. A kindred to a blood fiend is like a sub-entity, similar to sub-entities created by distortions or abnormalities. It must have been desperation that drove you to accept that proposition without hesitation, despite the lack of relevant information. Maybe. That's probably what was going through my head before I became a kindred. Thou hast been in cohorts with this villain all this time as his underling? Even ere then, when we first laid our eyes upon thee? Lady, you have no idea how much I freaked out when one of you asked me something about red eyes. Not it would have mattered if you did suspect me, though, since my red eye is just prosthetic. Then, the passengers who were under thy protection, haven't I told you that the count matters? The longer the line, the better. Dozens of blood bags began shambling into the room behind Sasha. A smaller one among them stood out to me. Oh, it's the child! My mind immediately snapped to the child who grabbed Don Quixote's coattails. I knew that the passengers were dead the moment we realized Sasha was a blood fiend, but this, I really, really hoped that I wouldn't have to face this reality, not like this. There was a child. Yep, little runt wanted to be a fixer if she got to grow up. Good thing she won't, though. I can tell you on good authority that living as a blood bag is way better than a drudgery that is the life of a fixer. Believe me, I know. Hold thy vile tongue. Dreaming of becoming a famous, respected fixer and an actor of justice? It's all just a stupid pipe dream that always ends in crushing disappointment or a really, really early grave. Silence! Silence! Don Quixote did not give Sasha the time to finish her sentence. She was already charging full speed at her with her lance drawn.
어떤 시간과 공간에 계시는 관리자님이 들을진 몰라도 그때를 위해서 미리 음원을 녹음해야 한다는 거군요. 아, 이런. 이것도 녹음되고 있는지는 미처 몰랐네요.
불길 속으로.
Oh boy, focused battle time.
공간을 뭉갠다.
걸려라. 자, 한 건 했고.
시원하네. 아, 술 맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
Please don't lose
내
this
앞을
flash.
막을 자는 없어.
Oh no. Nice.
지금이 기회인 것 같소.
제압 완료. 승객 복원 중.
탈출 개체가 정리되었습니다.
뭐든지 하나씩 줄여가면서 시작하는 거지.
누님도 술병을 하나씩만 비우면 참 좋을 텐데 말이죠.
It's kind of high roll, Jesus. His music's bumping.
탈출 개체 확인.
제압 완료. 승객 복원 중.
Shit, I didn't realize he's that low on bleed.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로
Boy,
기계는 입에 발린 말
Sasha
따위
is-
쉽게 하지 않아요.
분수는 금기다.
지금은 바빠요.
이번 차량을 정리한 후에 답드리겠습니다.
Oh, she has sanity too. Ah, shit.
탈출 개체
Hope that's
확인.
lethal. That's a lot of charge, Jesus.
그 오물을 떼어내주지. 살을 떼어내고
I'm surprised she's already staggered. Jeez.
자, 한 건 했고. 한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만
The rip space kind of goes
결국에는
hard.
유리한
here.
구도를 만들어낸 것 같은데.
Punch charge. It's a lot.
불길 속으로 다 죽어라.
This might have been overkill actually. Oh, not if she fucking knows tails.
다음은 어디요?
개체의 유효한 속성을 정확하게
Oh,
간파했습니다.
no space. Well, no, maybe there isn't. Unbelievable. My first kindred to be created without their authorization. Is this bumbling fool? I pray for your forgiveness, my parent. Be gone from my sight. At least thou hast brought me blood bags for sustenance. Yet it must be the responsibility of a parent to clean up the mess of the child. What a load of shit. But that Cassetti reached out toward the pile of blood bags on the ground and... Oh boy. Ah, oh what abundance. I had nearly forgotten the sensation. The armor of hardened blood materialized over the blood fiend's body. The sheer aggression and hatred is palpable enough to make her skin crawl. It appears that he has empowered himself by reaping their blood. Though my power is yet to fully return, this magnificent armor is quite befitting of a parade for the prince who hath become a king. Wouldst thou agree? Yes, sir. Yes, you do. Of course you do. Challenge me now, O rebels. Challenge thy king.
뭐든지 하나씩 줄여가면서 시작하는 거지.
It's a lot of fucking pride.
하나씩만 비우면
I guess it
참
makes
좋을
sense.
텐데 말이죠.
Oh boy, unflashable. Do I have any ego? It's kind of troll to fucking, I don't know. Let's see. I have 4 charge gain power, 6 charge gain power.
이번 차량을 정리한 후에
Consume
답드리겠습니다.
6 charge count gain power.
불길 속으로.
Oh no. 4 to 5 sanity, by the way.
대부분 분야에서 저는
Holy
최고의
shit.
성능을 내는 AI지만
Fuck.
응원은 조금 더 준비 시간이 필요합니다. 공감의
Lose 1
영역은
value
잘
every time
쓰지
this unit
않았던
loses
비밀이라
5% HP.
일단 먼지를 털어내야 하거든요.
Shit. Does this guy have stagger bars? He does. Hey, don't fucking lose the crash
불길
again,
속으로.
please, Faust. Oh my god, he dodges it.
미카, 저것 때
Oh boy.
뭔가 복잡한 걸 준비하는 것 같지 않아?
지금까지 알게
Oh,
된
the amount
정보들을
heal,
분석해서
reset
대비해야
SP,
할이 없을 것 같은데.
gain blood, inflict bleed. It's wonderful.
가자!
사실 이런 보모구실은 제가 아니라
Oh boy,
세피라들의
6
역할이긴 하죠.
turns?
관리자님도 알다시피 저는 언제나 수십 명의 몫을
only
해내고
favored.
있으니까요.
I can't even flash it. It's all neutral now, that's not good. Maybe I pull out the dodge. I don't really want to sacrifice whip space though. Oh yeah. Ooh. Gonna I might say fuck it.
이번 차량을 정리한 후에 답드리겠습니다.
That works out, I guess.
탈출 개체 확인.
공간을 뭉갠다.
오호, 이럴 때는 이런
I
식의
don't know if
공격으로
I'm killing this guy.
이용하는군요.
Fucking 15 turns.
뭘 그렇게 끄적이는 거야, 미카? 실전에서는 다 기세라니까.
그 오물을 떼어내주지.
It's also a lot of enemies. Jesus Christ.
어떤 시간과 공간에 계시는 관리자님이 들을진 몰라도 그때를 위해서 미리 응원을 녹음해야 한다는 거군요. 아, 이런. 이것도 녹음되고 있는지는 미처 몰랐네요.
I don't even know if that's necessary.
된다면 사월을 봐.
걸려라.
Nice.
위험
Oh
알람이
boy,
울리고 있어.
what is that?
뭔가 커다란 게 올 것 같은데.
분위기가 바뀌었어.
그러게, 좀 가라앉은 게
Oh, what the fuck?
비라도 올 것 같은데.
Is that right? That doesn't seem. I'm gonna fucking regret if we lose this. Need my ego to be safe.
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 정리하다.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
Oh boy, how many turns have you been?
어떤 시간과 공간에
I
계시는
have 3 more
관리자님이 들을진
turns.
몰라도
Nice charge pose.
그때를 위해서 미리 응원을 녹음해야 한다는 거군요. 아, 이런. 이것도 녹음되고
Oh, it's
있는
because of the
줄
fucking
미처
sanity. I'm
몰랐네요.
like, why is that dominating? It's kind of dumb, actually. I shouldn't do that. I don't know.
탈출 개체 확인.
He's pretty close to that stagger threshold. I don't have any stagger bursts in this turn, do I? No, I don't. Almost there. Oh, this has to put him over. Punch. I guess those are a kick, but I don't think I have rip space ready for this turn, do I?
후, 저것들도 취한 것처럼 흐느적대는데?
That sucks.
그래서 저러는 건
This is
아니겠지만요.
a really fucking
기회를
sad turn,
잡으시는 게
actually.
좋겠어요.
Jesus.
탈출 개체 확인.
직원들이 우세한 환경에 있습니다.
Is this worth flashing?
관리자님이 제 말을 집중해서 듣고 있었다는 결과겠죠.
Insanity got reset.
이런 과정들을 통틀어
탈출
탈출이라고
개체
부른다고 하더군요. 긍정적인 변화네요.
공간을 뭉갠다.
It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Yes, I love your boiling human blood, but this is too painful. This guy keeps regenerating no matter how many times we tear him to pieces. I don't know if we can. The mental fatigue finally got to Gregor and Sinclair, who collapsed to the ground. The strange environment of warp chambers was proving to be a significant help to the Blood Fiend's regenerative ability. This fight's been dragging on even longer than our battles at the K-Corp border checkpoint or the basement of Wuthering Heights. I knew that the sinners had all grown stronger since then, but I felt as though I stood before an impenetrable wall. Don Quixote continues to wildly pummel the Blood Fiend with her lance, breaking, stabbing, and crushing him every time a body part regenerated. I am so hungry. Ridiculous, thy hunger is no justification for this massacre thou hast wrought. Shut up, you just don't understand. You don't know how awful it is to survive on that disgusting blood for 200. No, I don't even want to think about it. Shut up, be quiet, no. I'm sorry, please, let me just have just a sip, just the smallest sip, please. It's all useless, no matter how many times you stab me. I shan't stop until all of thy flesh and bone and organs are crushed into a viscous, shapeless mush, never to become whole again. But the Blood Fiend's regeneration is powerful. He's regenerating as fast as Don Quixote is destroying him. He's regenerating at an insane rate. We can't. Ah, my kindred, my child. I have given thee new life, invited thee to this banquet. So do thy responsibilities. The blessings of a parent must be repaid, no? What can I do? Find their weakness, break their anchor, make them kneel and grovel before me in desperation, just as you had. Wait, I think I've got an idea. Sasha began looking around wildly, surprised by Cassetti's sudden command. It's the way they fight. Reminds me a lot of the way we prosthetic using fixers fight. Just as prosthetic fixers slowly lose their sense of self-preservation, their limbs becoming no more important than tools to be replaced. These idiots act with such abandon, as if they have multiple lives to burn through. With nothing to protect, they throw themselves wildly into battle like moths to a flame, and forget to look after what's really important, like this little thing. With one of her remaining arms Sasha picked up, the master card key Faust showed her in one of the previous cars. Don Quixote, stop her now. Oh, my parent, I offer this gift to you. Gah! Don Quixote immediately leaped at the fixer, but one of her arms struck her away with great force. Ishmael and Merceau, who had been holding Cassetti down, were no match for his strength. Without Don Quixote's fury, the Blood Fiend threw them both up to the side and grabbed the key card. This is the key to the first-class cars, my lord. With this, grow your army of blood bags to bring glory to the kingdom. No. Cassetti examines the master key card with clear interest. Without that key card, will be trapped inside this train for thousands of years until it reaches its destination, Dante. I believe myself to be trying my utmost to overcome this adversity, that access to Faust's knowledge and intelligence. However, with our loss of the master keycard, the uncertainty of this circumstance is greatly exacerbated. At the origin of this obstacle must be my over-reliance on Faust. From what I can tell, Faust has always been operating based on information she received from Faust, so a situation like this, where she has to make her decisions on her own, has to be unfamiliar to her. But Faust is an admirable sinner with or without Faust. I've been thinking the same thing about myself, actually, that I might have been relying too much on that perfect Faust. But even without Faust, you still gave us good directions to follow after analyzing the information we brought you. Maybe uncertainty itself doesn't always have to be a problem for us, remember? Thus the lack of plan itself becomes the plan. You said it yourself. I see. Indeed, among many, I am a Faust that believes in uncertainty. Our loss of the master keycard is but one of innumerable uncertain variables in the equation. The constant is, however, that the Blood Fiend is just as desperate as we are. Thus, the only option that remains at present is to compromise. You there. Looks like thou art the one who's been regenerating your friends. Stop doing that, alright? Don't heal a single one of them, or I'll smash your precious key to pieces. Manager Esquire. To compromise with a villain as vile as that cur. I didn't have the time to regenerate Don Quixote's severe injuries just yet, and the rest of the sinners were already unconscious. The only sinner who could still move and talk normally was Faust, whom I just rewound the clock for. Yeah, let's do that. Very well, then Cassetti, why don't we move this conversation to a different location? Only I will accompany Dante to this negotiation. I'll make my intentions clear now. Dante and I will not attack you there. There's no doubt in my mind that Cassetti must be absolutely exhausted by the unending barrage of attacks from Don Quixote and the sinners. Faust's suggestion that we move this conversation to a different place without the sinners must have been a sweet one. Just you two, huh? Yes, the freight car is immediately adjacent to this one. That is where we will further discuss what we each have to offer to one another. That Clus must be thy monarch then, and thou art one of the retainers. Correct. Very well. This will be a royal debate then. It is only right that a royalty talks to no one else but the one who is his equal. Manager Esquire. We'll be back in a minute, Don Quixote. Thus we left the incapacitated sinners and Don Quixote, who watched on with hollow, despondent eyes as we walked away. We carefully made our way into the freight car. So Faust, why are we doing this in the freight car again? Dante, this will be my first attempt at a gamble. Let's go gambling. The door shut behind us.
정리가 예상보다 일찍 끝났군. 보고서는 내가 작성해둘 테니 다음 정리 전에 휴식을 취하도록.
So this passageway leads straight to into Mephistopheles? This is where it all started. This stupid bus awoke me from my slumber. If only this bus hadn't completely filled up the freight car. I wasn't planning to start this parade so soon or to create a kindred here. Dante, the connection has been restored. Connection? The suddenness of her statement briefly knocked me off my train of thought. I looked at her and cocked my head in confusion, and she replied with an even quieter whisper without looking away from the Blood Fiend. Boarding Mephistopheles has re-established my connection to Faust. Did you know that this would work? No, and as I have stated before, this was a pure, incalculable gamble based on my own uncertain hypothesis. This success helps me somewhat comprehend Miss Rhodia's fascination with gambling. A faint smile appeared on Faust's lips for a moment before fading away. Now that the connection has been re-established, I would like to make a complaint against the Gesellschaft's management regarding the fact that they neglected to list the information pertaining to the loss of connection within the interiors of the warp trains. However, finding a solution to this situation takes precedence. I have much reason to believe that their omission was done on purpose, but I hope such is not the case. Faust gently advanced toward the Blood Fiend. Let us discuss the details of our compromise. What are you willing to accept in return for the Master Keycard? If that were just anyone, I would have wished to turn thee all into blood bags and drink every last drop of thy blood. But thou art unlike a common person. My wish is to maintain the secrecy of this kingdom of mine for as long as possible, and thine wish is to leave this place, right? Once I relinquish to thee this keycard, and once thou returnest to your first-class seats, we'll live here happily ever after like nothing happened. And when the train gets there, you get off the train, everything goes back to the way they were supposed to be. How's that for a deal? Like nothing happened. Faust, what about the job we were contracted to do in the first place? Our memories and any sign of battle will be entirely erased upon our arrival. We will have no way to relay our news, whether one of success or failure. If we had the means to defeat him, then at least W Corp would inform us that our contract was successful after the fact. However, this current scenario will leave us with nothing to show for it, not even the smallest hint, and the contract will end in failure. However, what takes precedence over the contract is you and the sinner's psychological stability. It's not like we've always been successful, so that was something I could live with, but what about the other passengers of this train? And its future passengers? I remember the look on Don Quixote's face whenever we would come across these inevitable forms of injustice. Faust does not apply, yet the lack of a reply was all... Jesus. The lack of a reply was a reply all on its own. Are we going to have to let them die? Innocent lives will be lost, but we cannot prioritize their lives over our safety. That must be Faust's and the company's policy. And yet, I shan't allow this. Don Quixote? I thought her wounds were too severe for her to even crawl, let alone walk, but with sheer will, she pushed herself through the pain to reach the freight car. I will not tolerate this. We cannot let this vile wretch live and turn a blind eye to everything he's done. It's her again. What? You want to stay here for what is essentially an eternity within this train? I know the truth. Everything hinges on this key, doesn't it? As soon as I break this in half, you have to spend the eons inside this. I care not. I would welcome the eons, should it mean eons of penance for thee. 'Tis much preferable to letting thy villainy go unanswered. Let this place be the site of thine eternal judgment. Faust and I grabbed Don Quixote. She'd normally be strong enough to wiggle free of our grips, but she'd already pushed herself beyond her limits, merely by walking here. Faust, unhand me! Thou mustn't let him live, Manager Esquire. Don Quixote, letting him destroy that key means that you'll be condemning the sinners to thousands of years of torment. Then I shall fill the millennia with the tales of legend I had read in the magazines. No time, however, infinite, shall be too great to overcome, should we endeavor as one. Certainly, you are aware that your suggestion is no solution at all, Don Quixote. Then there has to be another way, no? Thou art both possessors of great wisdom, Faust, Manager Esquire. Is there truly no path in which we may bring justice to the villain, and the sinners remain unharmed? Oh shit. Her struggle begins to wane, but this was no acceptance, this was dejection. Wait, Don Quixote, no! In the commotion, we failed to notice that the Blood Fiend had been quietly advancing at us. We let Don Quixote go at the last second, but we were a second too late. Oh my dearest parent, forgive my transgressions of creating another without thy sanction. Oh shit. Thou shalt become the second kindred of mine. Cassetti screams incoherently as he leaps onto Don Quixote, piercing her neck with his fangs before we even had the chance to do anything. Oh, I did not expect this to be the solution. Faust, what do you mean, the solution? According to this information I'd viewed in the past, and once again, just now, it's... Dante, take cover behind me and remain absolutely still. And please do note that the other sinners must never hear a word of what is about to happen. Oh. Don Quixote levitates slightly into the air, the strings on her shoes unraveling as they slip off her feet on their own. She looks on with bewilderment as her running shoes fall to the floor, and... Ah! Gah! Rocinante! I've always had this question swirling at the unfocused backstage of my mind. Why are you always so protective of those running shoes, Don Quixote? Huh? Running shoes? Ah, dost thou speak of our dear Rocinante? Yeah, those. I have battled through thick and thin, feast and famine with my dear Rocinante, and sorrow and joy, no matter the brutality of trials that hath struck me. It hath been a loyal steed by my side for however long it hath been in existence. She doesn't know when she got them? Ah, Manager Esquire, wherefore hast thou not saluted Rocinante as well? This may be a rather auspicious occasion to do so. Nope, I think I'm good. Aha, be not so bashful, go on ahead. Look, Stinky. Small girl is torturing Tick-Tocky with Stinky. Stinky they are not, scuffed as they might appear. Rocinante is in pristine condition. Also, thou shalt not address me as small girl. Evacuate, evacuate. Don Quixote, don't tell me you go to sleep wearing those running shoes. I mean, Rocinante. Oh ho! I've always been quite certain that someone so esteemed as the Manager Esquire wouldn't care to ask me how Rocinante fares. I didn't mention that this question was inspired by numerous eyewitness reports from other sinners who saw her wandering the halls in her pajamas and wearing Rocinante. Really, Rocinante and I remain bound together even in slumber. There shall be no separating the two of us. We are bound not by need nor want. We are simply bound together through plight and delight. Now that I think about it, every single identity of Don Quixote was also wearing those pair of running shoes, Rocinante. Have you ever taken them off? Take them off? Why, whatever dost thou mean? As in, detach Rocinante from my body? 'Tis a very odd insinuation thou makest. She looks at me with puzzled eyes, as though taking those pair of running shoes off was somehow an inconceivable idea. They were something much more than just her favorite pair of running shoes. Her odd attitude of treating something so far removed from common sense as something completely ordinary. What does Rocinante mean to Don Quixote? What even is that thing? Ugh. An overwhelmingly powerful pressure suddenly explodes, radiating in all directions. As the metallic stench of blood suffocates the bus, filling every corner of it with its sickening horror. Then darkness. No, that's impossible. In all-absorbing darkness, voice is our only light. You are the second kindred. How did you... I should have felt your presence. I do think I saw a faint outline of an aura. I see a red aura and a long fur adornment of sorts. Through the shimmering aura, I think I saw red eyes. You have committed the sin of filial impiety, transgressor. I know that voice, but I also don't. I've never heard it in such a low, imposing tone before. It speaks towards the lesser being. The blood fiend, shriveled and kneeling, trembling, pathetic. Mercy, O venerated ancestor, I beg for the mercy of the second kindred, I beg for the mercy of the second kindred, I beg. Insolent iron. God. Crimson droplets of blood slowly rises around the blood fiend's mouth before congealing and sealing his mouth shut. No language worming its way out of your maw shall be worth my ears. No. To commit the sin of filial impiety by attempting to travel against the bloodstream, commit such abomination against your ancestor, I cannot well sanction your impudence of continued existence. Coagulate, then melt your hair. Cassetti's body begins liquefying into a slick stream of blood, his form curdling and crumbling, then dripping to the ground. Rapidly yet ponderously, like that ice cream Don Quixote had so much, melting away on the floor, heated under the searing sun. Ah, you! Don Quixote turned to look at me, who was still on the ground after being thrown by the shockwave. With a cryptic look of pity, she uttered something. Indeed, you must be the promised timepiece, something I couldn't quite understand. Rocinante to me, Rocinante, I beseech you. I carefully reached out, grabbed her shoes, and slipped them onto her bare feet one by one. Ah, one day. She stumbled and slumped to the ground. I can't believe it. Were the fucking blood fiend theories true? Sometime later. Can somebody explain what just happened in a way that makes sense? I knew that the sinners would all be shocked and confused. After all, when they, including Faust and Don Quixote, all came back to life after I rewound the clock, all that remained was the destroyed door to the freight car and the disgusting obliterated remains of what was once Cassetti. Most personnel had lost their consciousness from the mental stress of the prolonged battle against the Blood Fiend. Whatever measure it was that the manager has taken, it can be said that it was appropriate. I guess so. Well, good work everyone. However, the definition of most personnel excludes 3 individuals, therefore it'd be most appropriate to direct any questions to them. Wait, Who are those 3? Faust, the manager, and Don Quixote, who is still unconscious. Huh? Really? The 3 of you? Wow, you were spot on, haha. When did you even have the time to notice that? Oh boy. I've identified the 3 conscious individuals by analyzing their walking cadence and voices. Moments before the loss of my consciousness. Right, so what's going on with the last? Why is she still out cold? She appears to be in a state of deep slumber. As she is not at a risk of death, she will be waking up soon. I remember everything, of course. Don Quixote's sudden transformation, how she practically erased the Blood Fiend and his kindred from the world without even moving a finger. But I also remember Faust's last words. And please do note that the other sinners must never hear a word of what is about to happen. Don Quixote was unconscious and Faust was answering every question with silence. It was only natural that their eyes would fall on me. That's wait, that reminds me. Where's the key card? Last I remember, it was in Cassetti's hands. He was in a far more presentable state than he was before. Wait, so what about the key card he was holding though? It has been half liquefied. The remains have melded with his finger bones. It appears to have become one with the middle phalanges. Oh no, everyone calm down, I said calm down! I really should have packed more cigarettes, huh? How about we force one of those doors open? The master keycard is not an absolutely necessary element to resolving this situation. How? It will require approximately 5 hours to formulate and proceed with an explanation in a manner that will allow the sinners to fully comprehend the exact how of this methodology. Therefore, it will be delivered to you in a digestible, summarized format. Well, that was short-lived. She's acting all smug again. We can utilize the back door of Mephistopheles. The steely confidence in her declaration was more than enough to win us all over. So we headed to the corridor past the back door, Don Quixote slung over one of our shoulders, and arrived at our destination. I can't not ask what happened after seeing the state you are all in. Sandy pitter, sandy patter. Grains of sand and seashell-like things fell with every step the sinners took. Ask someone after me. To explicate, it can grains of sand roll about in my throat with every word spoken. Some time ago, Faust explained the simpler gist of this plan as we made our way to the back door. To put it simply, we will spend the time at a space disconnected from the train. The train should be arriving at its destination in approximately 10 seconds going by the A-Corp timescale. All you must do is remain somewhere in our original dimension for that duration. And with that, Faust came to a sudden stop in the middle of one of the corridors. Wait, are you seriously gonna just open that door? With this many doors in here, are you sure that it's the right one? Yes, this is the correct door. Its safety is completely ensured. Lass, at least tell us what's past the door. I did not bother verifying that particular information myself. It is necessary for future endeavors that I gain the experience of encountering something completely unexpected. What? Wait. Faust did not wait for Heathcliff to finish his sentence before jerking the door wide open. Now please enter through this door. With Faust's stern command, we quickly walked into a building that looked like a derelict, abandoned hospital of sorts. I think we walked into the middle of a sandstorm. Huh? Aren't we supposed to be indoors? How the heck is this even happening? Ah, I can't open my eyes! Tui, I got sand in my mouth. Wait, no way, is this a sandstorm? Well, aren't we inside a building? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sinners blurted out a colorful series of complaints, trying to cover themselves in the blasting sandstorm. But Faust continued to count in that same indifferent rhythm before dragging us out of there just as urgently as she herded us in. So, we managed to return safe and sound to the interiors of the warp train as it arrived at the P-Court platforms. As the train was still getting cleaned up, that is, with our bodies completely covered in sand. I thought we'd never make it. Whoa, are you guys okay? How did these passengers... We were so happy to be done with this whole ordeal that even the W Corp cleanup agents in the middle of a cleanup mission looked downright hospitable. We are employees of Limbus Company. We boarded the warp train at the behest of your employer. Oh, so you guys are the people that our captain told us about. They really let you guys keep your memories, huh? Oh, that reminds me. One of the employees must be sleeping inside that hibernation pod over there. Oh, that. Huh. I've never seen it in action before. Thanks, let me go check. The hidden compartment behind the chair that the cleanup agent called into. Inside it was... Huh? There isn't anyone in here. Huh? Maybe we're looking at the wrong pod? This is the correct spot. Then the disappearance of the individual who has entered the pod would indicate. Guess these folks aren't all there in the head either. Maybe you guys are just mistaken? I doubt that. Yes, we must have suffered from a momentary collective hallucination caused by fatigue. Very well then, we will see ourselves out. Faust cut the conversation short before the other sinners began asking too many questions. That I became intimately familiar with the meaning of that gesture. Followed her to the outside without another word. Have we arrived? Rise and shine, lass. Had enough nap yet? I see. I will hear details of the incident on the bus once we're traveling again. Understood. Any and all relevant reports will be sent to W Corp via LCCA, and Virgilius was already there when we arrived. He was sharing a conversation with Faust about what went down inside that train with a serious expression. I'll now leave with Karen and watch them unfasten Mephistopheles from the train. The minute hand on the manager's head seems to be desperately signaling to me that they have a lot of burning questions to ask you. Allow me to give you two some space. I was finally able to ask Faust once Virgilius left. Why did you do that? Faust's body was, quite literally, blasted to pieces from the sheer explosive pressure that filled the room the moment Don Quixote's shoes came off. It was as though she knew it was going to happen. Because it was the preferable course of action to having the same explosive demise occur to your body instead. I do find it regrettable that you were made to turn the clock despite my knowledge of the high likelihood of my death upon that occurrence. No, I'm not blaming you for that. I just wanted to know how long you've known that Don Quixote is. That is something I've been aware of since the LCV was first established. The same could be said of Virgilius. Of course. However, it was by the will of the LCA superiors that this knowledge remains withheld from the manager until the appropriate moment. That appropriate moment was back there? According to my private judgment, yes. Well, as my connection to all communications, including one to Faust, has been severed, I was not in a position to receive the headquarters' authorizations of that action. Right. Though the full truth may remain obscured still, we are once again returned. Returned. That was a layered word. We returned to one of the warp platforms in our own dimension, and we've returned to our daily lives of speculating about what's next in our path, and the usual, Faust, reconnected to Faust, has returned. Yes. Faust replied to Yi Sang's nebulous wording with a quiet affirmation. Please, do not take this query with any greater import than a mere jest. However, do you suppose I shall see her again? She shot a puzzled look at Yi Sang. In a way, it was quite the pleasant encounter, was it not? Yi Sang mused ambiguously before leaving us. Phew. The incident at the warp train was such a chaotic mess that it felt shorter than it really was, but I also learned so much about so many things. But it was too soon to start racking our brains about what kind of nonsense trial we were about to face in P-Corp, so I decided to enjoy this momentary peace. How, cough, do we find ourselves at P-Corp, cough? Wherefore is my throat so parched? I'm too tired to explain. Chiquita, you missed out big time on one crazy adventure. Huh? Ah, that vibrated the last few grains of sand out of my ears. The sinners looked down at Don Quixote's bewildered awakening, grinning. There's no way to know what we'll be facing here at District 16 where P-Corp was located, but we got this, right? The same faith I saw in the Faust who believes in uncertainty rises within me too. I looked up to Faust, only to see that Faust was looking at me as well. She nodded at me with her usual, barely noticeable smile, and I gave her a light nod back in return. Time to go find ourselves another golden bow. Bow? I don't know. Oh my god, I'm fucking done.
이 시간이야말로
I think I like that more than the Dawn office. Oh shit, did I not press confirm? Alright, I'm probably gonna end the stream here, so thanks for watching if you're watching. Thanks for stopping by if you stopped by. I'm thinking I might stream on Friday. I don't really fucking know. Probably the weekend, almost 100%, but last time I said I was gonna stream, I didn't, so we'll see.